Hello. It worked.
That worked really well.
The band is back together. When I hit the live button, it gave me the option. So now we know how this works.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
What option? What option?
Exactly.
What I miss?
Exactly. Nothing.
In pre-flight
Wombat. Hello,
planning,
Wombat.
I did nothing. Hey, it's good to see you guys.
Is
Hello,
the beef
Doug.
over, Wombat, or is it back on? I'm lost
What's
count.
that?
Lost track. Are we beefing?
I mean, we've been on there now 2 minutes 57 seconds. So I think we actually beefed. We're unbeefed, and we're back to beef. It's very
Both
dynamic.
wearing red shirts.
Yeah, this was. I was going to wear blue, but my son, for previous reasons that I've already talked about on the show, and I won't plug, he said to wear the red.
Plug. No, plug.
Well, he said that people will buy red shirts if I wear red. So, and now, as Doug pointed out, you could actually see it with my camera. Unfortunately, you can also see me. So it's kind of
it's a win-win.
Ron Swanson all wore red after.
Dude, that's funny.
I don't know
Hey,
why
and
they
the
wore
other
red.
thing is
Power
my
shirt.
son won his baseball game. So
That's awesome.
See,
the
after a
Trash
win,
Pandas,
you wear
that's their
red.
team name. The Trash Pandas won their game.
Looks like I didn't get the memo. I mean,
Well,
Must have
not
been
the
off
first
the text
nor the
chain.
last time that's happened in your life. That's
true.
You also didn't get
Thanks
the
for
memo,
having me,
Gonky, that
guys.
the light
Thank you.
should be in front of you, not behind you.
What?
You
dude,
look like
hey,
this is like alien, like you're witness
thank you.
protection.
Thank you to Valley Design. I am in my Ohio office for them allowing me to use internet's a special commodity up here in the hills where I grew up. So this is very
I'm not
nice.
saying
That old
anything
corridor.
because the odds of Chrome crashing on me again are high.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to trash talk anymore after this. That was it. That was my one jab.
About the internet. You'll do
About the
other stuff,
internet.
right? I mean,
I'll
what else
just,
are we
we'll
talking
make
about?
fun of Gonky.
Yeah.
Gonky got a major award.
What?
Oh no, come on, dude.
Spelling bee? Finally?
No, dude. He is what are you, Gonky?
I don't know, dude. I don't
Field
You
grade
do know.
officer
You
of
know,
the quarter.
Here's the thing. You know what annoys me? And I need to bring this back to people that have not known Gonky as long as I have. If we could rewind and show his, oh, gee shucks, that's exactly how flight school was. That's exactly how selection night was. That's exactly how when he met his wife was. He's like, this is just my life, guys. Everything just happens to me perfectly. So I didn't expect it. I mean,
well,
in
in this
exactly
case,
for noticing.
I
So-
was
and there's his
equally
internet.
shocked.
So what was it? I'm sorry. What was the award?
Fagile. It's a
I
major
don't know what
award.
is that in.
I got a FGO of the quarter award, which is cool.
Speak in Navy terms.
Out of all of the hinges, he was the best.
Ah, boy, that's not true.
Way to be the smartest kid on the short bus there, Gonky.
Bad.
All-
Very bad. Sir, if you're watching, I'm sorry. We'll try harder.
Out of all of the
Mover's just
Bobs,
pissed because he didn't get it.
Story
I-
of Mover's life, too. There's just a guy that
That's
swoops
true.
in and takes
Gonky
over.
swoops in. I'm surprised. I'm probably going to have some kind of paperwork or something. They're going to be like, "Hey, Gonky got this award, but here's your
Yeah,
letter, and it's
We
your
heard about
file.
it on your podcast, so here's
Yeah.
something to
Oh,
talk
dude.
about. Like,
Here's
oh,
something, yeah,
Mover, you're
it's something
killing
to
me.
frame." They're
Congrats.
doing great so far.
Congrats,
Yeah.
man.
Well, Mover, how have you been lately, sir?
Yeah.
I've been watching Airwolf.
Yeah, we had that kick butt interview.
That was an
last week.
amazing episode.
I
I watched
found
it
it.
with Wombat in Virginia. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I found a Mover Ruins Movies a Bowl episode, and
it's
I
not season 4.
it's season 2.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't.
It's the
believe it.
worst episode. It's got to be the worst episode. But I need to get Withy back on because it's got Airwolf as a hurricane hunter.
What? I don't.
That's
know
how
that.
it opens. Airwolf is a hurricane hunter. I'm like, how did I miss this? How do we all miss this?
Yeah. Pretty sure that wouldn't work out too well.
It worked great.
Well, with Airwolf. I mean, it's Airwolf,
Well,
but
It's the episode, you may remember this. We didn't get that far in our travels. So Caitlin takes a 747 as a passenger, first class, because that's how she rolls.
Mhm.
And it gets hijacked. And the flight is from LA to Dallas, and it lands in the ocean and then submerges to the bottom of the ocean, and Airwolf has to rescue them.
Didn't they make a movie about this?
I mean,
In
they
the
probably made
70s?
several movies about
That's
this. This
right.
is a
Yeah.
common theme back then.
Yeah.
Hijackings were kind of all the rage.
So
back
wait,
before.
well, they were underwater.
Underwater, because airplanes
they
are
had to rescue-
pressurized, you see, and therefore
They're airtight and watertight, Wombat.
they're airtight and watertight.
Well, if they were airtight
don't-
and watertight, why would it sink?
Wombat, the ditching button. Do you know this?
That plane was
First
not
of all,
underwater. First of all,
have you ever flown a 747? No.
No,
So you don't know.
Valid.
You don't know. I mean,
I
you've never
don't
flown an
know.
airplane with a spiral staircase.
That's true. Nope. No, not spiral in the Hawkeye. You're right.
Even better, like I'm
That's-
watching this and they're walking out on the ramp, like they go outside to get into the plane. There's no jet bridge. You know, can you imagine the stairs trying to get all those people in a
It
747?
was a
just to
harder
board this thing?
society back then. They could.
They
handle
were
things.
tougher back in the
We're
early
softer
80s.
now. You know how long it would
We,
take to board that plane now with the 400 wheelchairs?
dude. And they were all they were all dressed
Sorry.
nicely. Everybody was in a suitable garb. Nobody was
Yeah.
in their pajamas. There were no
Yeah.
fights, except
Hey,
for
there's
the
some
hijackers, of
pajamas that are
course.
suitable. Unfortunately, the people that wear them are not suitable in.
Yeah.
I
10
love
minutes in.
Wombat.
Let's
So
go.
Wombat, what you're
Like, that's-
saying
that's
is
just-
I got
What-
nothing to lose anymore.
what I've
Bring
heard
it.
Wombat say is that they need a sizer just like the carry-on bag.
Oh,
That is not what I said.
oh boy.
That was not. I did not. Those were not my words.
Oh boy.
That was
Um,
not. No, sir.
Oh,
No, because I like revenue. So that is
Wombat, how the hell you been, man?
good. It's been not busy. Had to make a run home to see my dad, who had a little hiccup, but he's back. He's living that never down, never out life now. So
Hell
right, kicking some butt. Got to hang out with mom, which was cool. Like I said, watched the last episode with her on the big screen.
Wombat.
It was fun. Wombat, and chimed in a few times just to throw stones from the chat.
That's right.
And I haven't worked in a little while. Got a little scruff. But I'm going back on Wednesday flying. So yeah, that's about it. Life's good. Family's good. We might be buying a van. Yeah, but not a
Minivan?
Gonky van. No, because
Like
I
a
still have my
safari van?
dignity, sir.
18
Yeah,
van?
like a camper van, like a
Like you
like a
pity the
camper
fool?
van. No, I want an A-team style. I don't think my wife will go for it, unfortunately. Like I wanted the spoiler and the stripe. I mean, how awesome would that be if that was the
YOLO.
Yeah.
yeah, but
No
well,
problem.
yes, YOLO, but when you're married, it's different, right? Because
Yeah. It's
It's still YOLO.
It's
You're
not
only
YOLO.
got a YOLO. You're gonna live
It's
once,
not.
and then
it's well, yeah, but it could be a really rough life. So
you
just
won't die,
saying.
but you'll wish you were dead. Is that what you're telling me?
yeah. So so that's about it, man.
Cool.
Life's been good. I can't complain. I
How's
mean,
the writing?
I could. So it's back. Words on paper.
Mhm. That's how it
I will
works.
tell you 100%. There's going to be a book 3. It's coming. I have a little
what she
bit more
said.
time on my hands, as you guys may know,
Mhm.
you two at least. So I will be writing a lot more. So the trilogy will complete. I'm talking to a couple people that are hopefully listening right now to get off their butts and get out to Point Magoo and get me a picture for the cover, because the idea I have, and I need a picture to design it. And then there's going to be something else after book 3 that I would say is probably
Book 4?
bigger than all 3.
Book 4.
No, whole
That's usually
different
how it works.
direction we're going. Whole different
Oh.
direction.
Are you doing sci-fi too?
No, because I don't watch any sci-fi, so I'd be a really horrible sci-fi.
Dinosaur erotica.
It's
knew
obviously UFO related, but no. So it's gonna
Earmuffs,
be, I'm
kids.
excited, man.
Earmuffs.
I'm excited. It's there's
Dad,
good
what's
things on the
erotica?
horizon.
I want dinosaurs.
Ask your dad.
Oh,
Ask
no.
your dad. So,
Jeez,
Kids, earmuffs.
but yeah, so that's it. So that's enough. Camper
Cool.
van, riding more, flying more, family's healthy. That's what I got.
yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah.
a lot.
Doug, how you
webcam.
doing, man?
So
Yeah.
I'm having some kind of flashbacks every time I watch a TV show and see a helicopter. I think Kevin LaRosa is flying it.
Yeah.
I swear I saw him
It
in
was
an
a good
episode of
episode.
Justified tonight.
He could
Probably
be.
is him.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude, we didn't even scratch the surface.
No.
We got stuck on Airwolf for 2 hours, and his IMDb's got like 200 other movies.
Which is okay. It's not a bad thing.
Well, if we ever get him back, we need to
Didn't
ask
say it
him
was a
about
bad
all
thing.
the other TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he fly an Airbus Squirrel in Justified one time?
I don't know.
is that the
Airbus
helicopter
Squirrel?
mover you told me about that I could fly because it's only, or I could start because it only has one? It's Airbus
Yeah,
size.
the
Yeah.
EC 130.
Donkey, we could fly. Well, we could start.
Well, you could start it. You could start
Oh,
it. It's
yeah.
got a switch that says start. I mean,
It's right up my alley. I mean,
Hmm.
it's right up my alley.
Pretty sure if I just
Little known fact: the reason I had to switch from Hawkeyes to Hornets is because the Hawkeye's too hard to start. Breaking news: Hornets real easy. Just or wait,
That's
I don't,
all right.
actually I don't remember. T-45 is even easier
it's
than
like
that.
a two-hand. It's a two-hand operation.
in the
So-
Hornet.
And the Hornet?
No, in
Was
the
it? Really?
helicopter. I said helicopter.
Oh,
Helicopter
sorry.
is a
yeah,
two-hand.
sorry.
For those without the FADEC, two-handed operation.
Hmm.
And they wonder.
Same
why
with the
they're
7.3,
not
right?
guys who-
That's a six-handed operation. You're a train conductor.
Dude.
That's like, why did they make it so hard to start? Like, it
Southwest.
because it was 1955.
Yeah,
Wombat
they had
when
to.
they
but yeah,
conceive this thing.
that's back when they literally had to pour the coals to it.
Yes, literally, that was correct for takeoff.
That's stupid.
Yeah. That's what it looked
The
like
average
coming out
height-
the back
The
end.
average height was about 5'2", and people lived to 35.
Yeah, back in the
Things
day.
have
Good
changed
time.
a lot
Good
in
time.
104
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. So
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
it's crazy.
Hey, I wanted to say thanks to. I got a ton of emails and stuff from people asking about, concerned about the storm because I live down in the Panhandle. So thank
It's
you.
weird. I didn't get any.
Well, you don't live in, dude. You don't live in the Panhandle, man.
It hit closer to me than you.
That's sort of because I
Oh,
left.
not sort of. No, that's sort of.
Well,
It
I
kind of
mean,
like
I
went
left.
over my state. You weren't even in that state.
correct. But then it went over Kentucky,
And we
which
all
is
know
where I
the
was.
panhandle of Florida and actual Florida are two different states.
Gonky went storm chasing, Wombat. That's what he's
I
trying to
went-
tell you.
Yes, dude. So we had a pre-planned trip to Ohio, and the storm rendezvoused with me in Kentucky, and then followed me all the way to Central Ohio. Which, yeah. So, but weathered the storm, if you will. Thank you for reaching out.
So Gonky joins a wing, right? A new wing that happens to have hurricane hunters and meteorologists. So now they are Gonky's personal meteorologists because he's sending texts like, "Hey, what can I expect for this storm?" And I'm like, "Gonky, do you not have like weather.com, whatever?" And he's like,
You heard
Hey,
of radar.com? That one's
"What's
pretty
it
good. My
gonna look
radar
like
is a
on
great
Wednesday?"
thing.
Like they're his personal forecasters.
They're not my personal forecasters, but I figure maybe they have some inside knowledge, man. I mean,
Mhm.
right? I mean,
Well,
it's
they
like,
do
dude, you,
fly inside the storm,
Correct.
much like Stringfellow Hawk.
you
But
just
had they
landed.
done that prior to Gonky trying to text them to plan his Griswold extravaganza across the country?
Crapper's full.
Yeah. The things you'll do to get an insurance claim are insane.
Oh no,
dude.
Thing's not going to pay for
No.
itself.
Gonky's not insured. That's the first part you should know.
I'm self-insured, dude. So
That's not a legal thing. Anyway, that's fine.
It's the oh shucks.
Yep.
Oh, it wrecked.
And then somehow a new
It'll work
Harvey
out.
will just show up at his house because somebody will feel bad for him.
The GoFundMe appears, and next thing you know, Gonky's got $1 billion motorhome.
Because
Blue's
he's
doing
the
great.
best department head of all the department heads.
Yeah, he's the best hinge. Hey, Kangi says, "G'day, fellas.
Hello, Kangi.
I hope Kangi is Shane Van Gisbergen. Finally got an offer to go to the Defense Academy. Probably not then because he's a race car driver. And be a pilot for the RAAF.
Nice.
Thank you for all the advice and mental health minutes. You don't know how much it has helped. Tomcats.
Tomcats. That's awesome,
Thank you.
Kangi.
Thank you.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
Take it and run.
Wicked Spider Black. Hi, everybody. Hi, Mover. Tonight, talking no bang bang. Correct.
Okay.
That is
Thanks,
correct.
man.
And also, for the record, people did reach out to me. I don't want too many haters. That was all just for show. People love me.
I love
I
it.
don't want there to be like hate mail of like, I
Yeah,
bashed
yeah.
you horrible person. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry.
You
Well,
respect-
so what he's talking about with the bang bang is we've been doing a lot of streaming lately on Twitch. Actually, we're
Mhm.
simulcasting right now. Twitch
Yeah.
right now. We've got people watching. See, I can
So that had
count
nothing
two,
to do
four
with
ads.
that
They're not happy.
OnlyFans plan you were talking about prior to this.
Yeah, dude, my feet. Angie says, after the 911 F-16 episode, now requesting Mover and Wombat to ruin 911 Season 8, Episode 2, airing tomorrow. Airliner collides with GA due to a super swarm of killer bees. Passenger Leo ends up flying the plane.
That checks out. I don't have to ruin that. That all checks.
Isn't that Airport 1975? That movie? I don't know.
He was a
dude.
pilot, though.
What didn't the flight attendant fly it for a while?
Listen,
always
we
do, though.
all
What do
know
you
they
think happens when you go to
basically
a
fly
bathroom break?
themselves.
Yeah, what do you
True,
think? happens on a
Wombat. She
bathroom
was-
break, Gonky?
Yeah.
Flight attendants go up there and fly for us.
Basically fly themselves.
Oh, dude.
So it's all
man,
good.
legal
Uh-oh.
reasons that's a joke. Irish 56 says Airport 77 is the movie. There's a lot of Navy. There were cameos in there with the S3 and the SH2.
Yeah, I think 77 is the one where it sunk to the bottom. 75, I think, was the GA crash.
What?
I don't know
Did
why I
they
know this
survive?
stuff. I don't know why I
was
know
gonna
this
say,
stuff.
what do you do all day?
I,
Because
dude,
I have never seen any of these movies. And
When
I
I was
still
a
feel like I
kid,
don't have time.
when I was a
Donkeys.
kid, dude, I watched all the Airport, the Airwolf, anything that flew.
See, that's the difference because you wanted to be a pilot when you were a kid.
Yes.
Where'd you
Yeah,
want to
see,
be, Wombat?
That's not a pilot.
What'd you want to
Okay.
be?
I don't really know.
NFL.
I mean, that would have been nice, minus the concussions.
I
mean-
I know Wombat played a lot of football. I just asked.
But I didn't have any idea I was going to be a pilot until, I mean, there was a brief time there, like the Top Gun bug hit me and I rode around with my flight jacket on my Huffy bike and listened to a Walkman that had the.
Still doing it.
I know. It's probably the same
So-
Walkman, actually,
We're-
ironically.
Were you a large child, Wombat, and like a tall boy?
Yeah.
Pretty tall for your thing. So were they like, what is that grown ass man doing riding his bicycle?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that dude stole some kid's bike.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at that big ass.
Because remember, this is
Walkman.
also New Jersey, so that's
Oh,
not
dude.
that far of a stretch, right? I mean,
That's hilarious.
so
Oh, dude.
Patrick says book 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
no, don't give them the $9.99. It's good. Wait,
No, it'll make its way to you, Wombat, eventually.
I feel like it won't. That's the
Through
thing.
the universe is what he means.
Hey, but
Just the good,
trickle
the good
down
vibes.
economics.
Oh, okay.
He's going to send his
So-
good vibes towards you.
The money, just so we're clear for everybody watching, the money actual will never make it to me.
It goes to Gonky.
the
But the good
happiness-
vibes goes to everyone else.
That's as good as an IOU, basically. I mean, that's as good as one. So I'll take it.
It goes to the RV replenishment fund to get him home.
You're gonna need a lot more 9.99s for that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, here's another one. Mover, I also want to say I've read all 3 of your Alex Shepard books and both of Wombat's books. They're some of the best I've ever read.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Thank you. And then Dan O'Grady says, Noah announced they're getting C-130Js for the new Hurricane Hunters. Gonky, you have to apply.
I disagree.
We'll see.
We've proven his level of grit when it comes to hurricanes. He ran away.
That was
No, he ran to it. He
Coincidence?
ran toward danger.
I
I didn't say he was
rendezvoused.
smart enough
He
to
was-
know how to run away. I've also
He was
seen a
running
sense of
away and it was
direction.
chasing him.
Exactly.
Yeah. He ran through the path of the storm to get the full experience.
It
Dude,
caught
that's
me.
pretty much, I mean, Wait a minute. You're in an RV in a storm. That's pretty much a C-130.
Dude, it was. Listen, if that's how C-130
I mean, if you were in your
is,
Camaro, that would be like being in a fighter. But
way smoother.
being in your
When was the last
RV,
time you saw that Camaro mover?
well, T-38A.
Fighter?
Yeah.
Fighter?
Yeah.
If he was in a Camaro, it would be like being in a tweet. That's about it.
I wouldn't get far with the drag
Assuming it
radials in the rain.
You got drag radials on that thing? Why? Doesn't it
Yeah.
run like a 14?
No, it's a 12-second car, but it's got 410s, man, and the 6-speed. Anything below
here we
third
go.
gear.
Here we go. How dry rotted are those drag radials? Be honest.
They probably need.
Yeah.
They probably need. Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the traction when you can see the air through the tire.
No.
That
They look
doesn't-
like Gonky's tires after landing in the rain in a T-38.
I'm sure they got flat spots on them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Don't disrespect the IROC, bro.
Matt
Uh-oh.
says,
Tighten it
a
up.
long
IROC is
time-
what
Hey,
disrespect.
hey, Matt is
Sorry.
talking, and he gave Gonky a lot
Matt.
for his RV fund.
Oh,
Long-time viewer here. I'm going up for primary selection in a few days. Swords up. Is that something I need to know about? Because that sounds
I'm not sure. I think that's
Okay.
I don't.
Is
I
that-
think he's
is that
just
like a squadron?
excited. It's excited.
okay. Cool.
I think it's excited.
Jets are my number one choice, and E2s are number
Avi.
two.
Avi.
I have a million questions, but only a chance to ask a couple. Any advice for someone approaching selection in the pipeline? Go.
Just pick what you want. Go with what you want, but be
Yeah.
happy to get your wings,
yeah.
especially if you're not flying helicopters. But be happy. I'm kidding.
I love it.
But seriously,
It's a Navy thing,
Um,
mover. It's a Navy thing. Sorry.
it's a Navy thing. Like seriously, like the biggest thing that helped me, because I wanted jets, obviously, and I probably had a chance if I didn't vomit on every flight and suck as a pilot in the beginning. But you know, I had a great attitude with it. I wanted, for me, number one, I wanted to get my wings of gold. Period. Case closed. Number one. Number two, very closely behind that, I wanted to land on boats because that's what separates the Navy from the Air Force and everybody else, except for the Marines, but sometimes. But so I really, really, really wanted those two things. And when my commanders asked, you know, because I made I mean, you remember Advanced, Gonky, we were there. I mean, I know you didn't talk to us peons because, you know, you're like, I'm going to get jets number one, Avi. So, but I literally, they asked me, they go, hey, why did you put, at the time it was P3s, not P8s, but why did you put E2s over P3s? And I was honest. I said, because I want to land on the ship. You know, that's my thing. And I'm living proof that even if you don't get jets, you work hard enough, you can get jets. So, but wings of gold first, be a good dude or dudette. I'm assuming dude, but hey, 2024, let's not go there. Be a good dude. Don't be a douche, as Mover says, you know, help out your buddies in the squadron and be there for them. Cause not everybody's going to get what they want on selection night. It's a great night, but it sucks for some people too, but just, you know, and then don't stop there. Like just keep working hard, man. Cause that's just the first hurdle, frankly.
Yeah,
What do you got?
Matt. I mean, Wombat nailed it. He's a great example of somebody who didn't get his first choice, but he went to the E2 with, you know, an awesome attitude and an awesome work ethic. And when it came time for him to, you know, reattack his, you know, his dream of flying fighters, it happened. So, and he's not the only one. There was three guys there was three JOs with me in the Diamonds who were all prior NFOs from other places. One of them actually was a helicopter pilot. So,
Yep.
Whatever you
It
get.
happens. It happens more than people realize, for
Yep.
sure. But it doesn't happen to people that walk around with a chip on their shoulders and
Yep.
pissed off because they didn't get what they want. Because frankly, just getting, and I'll say it as just getting wings of gold, but just getting wings in the military is a freaking massive accomplishment. Like, period. I don't care what you fly, it's massive. So just be proud of that and have a great attitude. Attitude's everything, man.
Yeah,
Attitude's
100%. 100%. Good luck. That's awesome. I'm excited for you.
And thanks for funding me with more good vibes via Gonky's money.
Ooh.
Starting to feel him.
Yeah, here we go. Speaking of that,
man.
Patrick says, does this count as a book purchase? That's like 27 coloring books.
That is a lot of coloring books.
That's a
The
whole
Christmas
kindergarten
edition is
worth.
in the works.
Good.
That's a whole
Good.
kindergarten worth of coloring books.
I feel like the Labrador or the Golden Retriever is getting kicked a lot tonight. Goodness.
Hey, man, don't invite the other people on if you don't want it. All right. You know what you're getting.
I know.
And it's
I know.
lots of things like this. So
I know.
Shea Locomotive
$20 is
Productions.
$20.
Dude, trains are awesome. Airwolf can
Yeah.
exceed Mach 1
Yeah,
from
they are.
sea level to 65,000 feet.
Yeah, that seems like
Yeah.
that checks out.
I think season 1, right? They go up to 65,000. Is that remember mover?
They do it
they
in
doing
season.
some?
They do it all the time.
Do they?
Yeah, they
You
do it all the time.
guys. You know, I will give you credit. Like, I watched it. It was really good. I was shocked that you didn't total fanboy and make it creepy. Like you flirted that line both very well. I give you props because
We want him to come back, dude.
I could tell, like I could see the sparkle in
Oh,
your
yeah.
eyes. Like
Yeah.
you were starstruck for sure. And I'm like, keep it together, boys.
Yeah,
Keep it together. And you did. And I was proud of you guys. I was proud.
we're actually professionals. No big deal.
That's a tough one because a lot of times you have a guest and you're like, you just want to listen. But he wanted to listen, but then you have that other overwhelming urge to impress him. And you want him to
sure.
like you.
Yeah.
So you want him to know all the Airwolf stuff that you know and be impressed by it. But then you also want to know all the Airwolf stuff he knows.
Sure.
It's a very
It's
tough.
tough.
It's a very tough balance. It's very tough.
You guys did a great job. It was a great episode. Highly recommend
I mean,
everybody go watch.
K2's interview went off the rails when I found out his dad was Airwolf.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can imagine.
that poor guy. We need to have him back so we can, now that
Apologize.
yeah.
Apparently, you've done a thing or two as well.
Yeah. Hey, so what are you up to now? Oh yeah, Top Gun. Whatever.
That's Top Gun Maverick, sir. It's very different.
And then and the yoga pants.
Oh, geez. Here we go.
Aaron says, "Hey all, haven't been able to watch recently due to some family health issues. So happy to be here tonight. Mover, you still need to ruin the 2023 movie Plane.
What
What
was
was the
that?
2023 movie Plane? Is that the Gerard Butler? He
I think
talked
that's
about
the one.
that.
Yeah,
He did talk about that.
Yeah,
one.
that's the
he
one
did
Kevin
talk about
LaRosa
that.
taught him to be a pilot for.
We can't
that's
ruin
right.
that because he taught it like we know people now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then he would call and be like,
It's
"What are
not
you
me.
talking
I
about?"
wasn't on the show. I'll ruin it. What do you want me to say?
Just let Wombat talk. It's
Perfect. Wombat, you're in.
Fine.
We're doing Plane.
All right. Cool.
We're doing Plane. That's
Just
next.
sit there and play.
After Airwolf.
We got
Aaron,
yelled
get
at
better,
for the
buddy.
Sully one because of our talking. I was reading the comments on that, and people are like, "You talked over the movie." I'm like,
Go watch the
"What
movie.
the hell do you expect?"
Right, go watch the movie then.
Yeah, they get mad when you pause. They get mad when you talk over it. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. They're like, just be
It's
quiet.
hilarious.
Like, well, then go
Everybody
watch it
got
by
mad at
yourself.
Except for the fact that we were ruining the movie. Nobody got mad at that part. Like the one part that actually would have made sense to get mad at, they didn't. They got mad at everything else that didn't make sense. I thought it was very interesting. But whatever. We did.
Yeah.
It was a great movie.
Sicking says, does Noah fly P3s? They do. They
so.
also fly
They did.
Gulfstreams and some other
Yeah.
stuff. But
No, they did. I don't think they.
Don't they fly C-130s too? I think so.
yeah, well, they're gonna. That was the announcement. And wait, did Wombat finally get a shirt?
No, Wombat's had shirts. He had a crappy
Well,
webcam.
you had
You
a
couldn't see me wearing them. Wombat finally sold enough shirts to buy a webcam. That's what happened, people. Get on board. Go buy some more shirts. Big things are coming.
And that will actually send real money to Wombat, not just vibes.
Yeah, as opposed
So-
to these damn good
Not
vibes.
just thoughts and prayers.
Hey, thoughts and prayers are
Aaron's-
just as powerful.
As money,
Well-
said no one
well,
ever.
Yes, it's an IOU. Aaron says, also, I loved your books, Wombat, and can't wait for the third.
Thank you.
Mover, I promise as soon as you make them audiobooks, I'll be the first. Some of them are audiobooks.
Some. Did you ever get that one figured out?
So the rights expired at
Thank
the 7-year point, which is crazy that I've been doing that long.
Wow.
And I just never found another narrator because I've just been lazy.
Yeah. It's a
I-
big
I-
deal. I mean, I lucked out with mine, but
So-
like, I'm just happy that the rights expired because now you have that opportunity.
Somebody once said he sounded like, was it you, Doug? Sounded like George Carlin doing an impression of Thomas the Tank Engine.
Well, George Carlin did do Thomas the Tank Engine. That's what he sounded like.
That's what he sounded like.
Oh, dude.
But you're reading that back like it's a bad thing.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, dude.
It took away from a great book. That's all I'll say.
I wonder what
Hilarious.
happens though. Like the people that bought it, like, do they still have it
doesn't
on their Audibles?
disappear off there. Of course, it's out there forever.
I don't know. It's not. You
It's
can't.
just like
buy
every
it now.
dumb thing I've said on this show. It's not going anywhere. That's the
Mm.
beauty of the internet. Lives forever.
Robert
They get canceled.
says, "Sell the Mustang." Well, it's not a Mustang. It's a Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have
Get a
those.
Corvette, Wombat.
I don't need a Corvette. Has there been any movement on your thoughts on CO6s or no?
So here's the thing. Rob sends me Z06s all the time. I would love a Z06. I don't have a garage room for a Z06 right now, and I don't know that I have the funding for a Z06 right now.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to stop you right there. This is America.
stop
You do not need the funding. Somebody has the funding. That is proved time and time again.
Well,
Time and
I
time
mean,
again.
with
Let's not
other
let
projects,
logical,
like,
financial
all right, I
decision
have a
making go
ZR1.
into cars.
I have it. So here's my issue: as I have a ZR1, but it's not a convertible. But the top can be removed, so that's kind of a lazy excuse. But then I can't put Luna in it because it's a collector car. But I want a car
And
that I
Luna's
can
not
put Luna
collector
in.
worthy.
What a Z06 is not.
Well, no, you said okay.
ZR1 is. The one I have is a collector car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No,
and I'm not.
I
I'm not
get it.
putting Luna in. So I want a car that's not a collector car to drive around with Luna. But then I'm like, I don't really drive that much. So that's kind of a problem.
Well, dude, I'll tell you right now, that's my biggest issue with the life changes that are going on. I don't know if the
What are you in
if
menopause?
the
What are you
car's going
talking
to
about?
I don't know if the car's going to stay.
He's going through the change, Paul.
You're going to replace it with the van, right? The camper van.
Well, I might replace the 911 with a van.
What?
Well, dude,
I
I
thought
don't
it was an
drive it.
addition too. No, that's bull. No,
I'm not sure
unequal.
yet. I'm not
No.
sure.
No,
I'm
denied.
not sure.
You will not be invited back if you do such things.
Denied.
That's all it'll take. That's it.
That's
You
it.
have to sell one car.
That's
Listen, how long have we known
That's
each
it.
other, and how many
You-
cars have I
you
bought and
trade a
sold?
Porsche
Threatening me with
or
selling
a
one
minivan?
car.
No,
it's
not a
not a
minivan.
minivan.
Not a minivan.
A mega van, whatever, A-team van, B-team van, C-team van. I don't care which van you get. If it has van in the name,
It's a camper van.
done. Done.
We'll talk offline, Wombat.
Yeah,
we
I
will be
think-
beefing. The beef will be real.
Mover, the conversations you have with yourself are definitely for a single man. Sorry.
They are.
How do you know?
Because here's a good idea.
I
I'm
just
getting
know.
every married man that is on listening to this goes, "Oh, camper van. That's good insurance for a place to sleep when you piss off." your wife."
That's true.
Now, I don't piss off my wife, but that's not to say that I can't, because I piss off a lot of people, as you both know.
Yeah.
Historically
Yeah, if you
speaking,
get a-
all
if
the
you
way at
sell
the beginning,
Porsche
all the
for
way
a
up to
minivan,
this.
I will
I'd
be.
move
So, I'm just saying. We'll see. We'll see.
Ron says, Virginia Beach native, fly Navy. I'm guessing y'all
Right.
are going to do a reaction to Su-35 Intercept release today. Eventually, we're going to get to some topics.
Yes.
The good news is
We're
I've
catching
prepared
up. It's been a while, man. It's been a while since
Yeah,
we
it's
had the
been a
band
while.
together.
Yeah, we're just
What
catching
you're
up for
hearing
the
right
first
now is like the blue
36 minutes.
couches in the ready room of the Navy. That's what this
Oh,
is.
yeah.
This is blue couch talk.
Yeah, 100%.
Did they have blue
Explain that.
couches? in
Not
the
that
airport,
kind
or
of
was it
couch
just-
mover.
They've
Yeah,
never. I've
it's
never
not-
seen a blue couch. Go with your data.
You had, dude, 204 had to have blue couches, right?
You like the Nog hides couches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes they were blue. Sometimes they were
Brown.
nasty red, brown. Yeah, brown. Yeah,
Brown.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know
Like
what I'm
shoes.
talking about. Just all the
Yes.
dudes and dudettes sitting around the ready room, fixing all life's problems,
Drinking coffee.
then getting crapped on by the military. It's just a good time. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. I imagine it's like some correlations to like, you know,
This is it,
POW
right,
camp.
right. This is it right here. Is Chris a rich man? Because we're doing this. I want to
boy.
start a
He
foundation.
looks it. It's a good looking dude. Look at those
Hey, he's got
glasses.
a boat.
Yeah.
Hey,
and a
hey,
boat.
if you're rich, let's talk because this is my plan. I want to start a foundation and get an Airwolf and take it to air shows, or at least take it within a regional.
Didn't we find out that was not allowed?
No, we didn't exactly.
When does that
find
stop
out.
mover in his career?
Well,
Make them tell you no, Gonky. Make them
well, I
tell
know.
you no.
Okay,
Don't be a Debbie Downer.
I'm not.
But anyway, I would like to do this. So, Chris, if you're rich, let's do this.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. If he was rich, he would have at least thrown $2 at Gonky's farm. I'm just saying.
He said he
Hate to
did
be
the
that guy in
research,
the room.
not rich. So we're 50% on here.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's
Oh.
loaded with knowledge, and that's halfway there.
What's that?
And good vibes. He's got
Good
good vibes and
vibes.
knowledge. That's what he brings to the table.
Oh, dude.
He's basically smart Gonky.
Wait a minute.
It
Wait, hold on.
stings because
Yeah.
it's true.
Foundation called the firm? No, it'd be like Folds of Airwolf or Airwolf of Honor.
Airwolf
Yeah.
of Honor.
I think
We
you could do
wouldn't rip
better.
anybody off.
We'll brainstorm that a little bit.
Airwolf for Warriors, dude. We'll just it's a veteran charity.
I mean,
don't know.
if you're gonna have copyright infringement, you might as well
Might
do
as
it
well.
all across. Like the title.
Folds of Airwolf for Warriors.
Noonan
Make
won't care.
make them serve you papers.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Make them come to you. Renee says you did a great job with Sully there, Wombat.
Thanks.
I thought so. I listened to it. It's good.
Yeah, that was fun
Really?
to do. I know
Yeah.
it took forever for me to find time, and I apologize. But
All right. So let's talk about our topics for a little while, at least, because that's what we try to do here on this show.
Try.
This one's a little different. We don't usually talk about other YouTubers, but this is kind of a feel-good thing,
ooh, oh,
so to speak. As you know, the
oh,
hurricane, I mean, it's like Katrina level disaster in areas that don't usually see
yeah.
this kind of destruction. Whole cities have been cut off from the world, no power. A lot of, unfortunately, people have died. And you see this, and when a disaster happens, you see the worst and you see the best. And this is an example of the best of humanity. He's got a channel that's about 27 times bigger than anything we will ever do. And I just wanted to, I saw this the other day. I shared it on my Facebook page. And he's out with his MD500, by the way, which, you know, you talk about goals. This is why I said, hey, if I ever get a Bell 222, he's out there doing relief efforts in his brand new, like he got this MD500 from Venezuela and then refurbished it, spent a whole bunch of money, and it's almost brand new. And instead of like, oh, this is a new helicopter, I can't mess with it, he's out doing like this. Like, this is not only cool, but it's incredibly dangerous. Like, he's risking his own life, his wife, you know, and they're out there doing great work as what he should be doing. So I thought this was cool.
Dude, look at those power lines.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the
Holy
thing is like he's going into places. I was watching some of this stuff, man. Like he's going into places that you don't know.
And
The
I'm
power
gonna tell
lines, the trees, the ground, right? I mean,
As
with
a-
the saturation.
as a helicopter pilot, this is incredible flying. Like, this is highly skilled. This is not just like YouTuber for attention stuff. This dude is legit. He is doing a great job. He's flying well. He's flying safely. And he's out there helping people with his influence and stuff. And I just thought that was really cool. I think that I mean, if you can, you should. And, you know, if that, I hope one day that's our goal. You know, that's our ability to be able to, you know, do enough for people because we've, you know, we give back. I mean, obviously we're not there yet now, but that doesn't mean in the future we won't be. And, you know, once you get it, you got to pay it forward. And, what an awesome thing that he's done.
Yeah, man, it's always nice to see people who have made it still care, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he didn't have to take his shiny new helicopter and, like you said, risk his life, you know, or wad up the helicopter or whatever. And he's out there, he's burning his own gas. I mean, it's you know, it's expensive to run a helicopter. So, I mean, that's awesome, dude. I love seeing stuff like that. Restores
yeah.
my faith in humanity a little bit.
Exactly. I just took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Dude. Like with the way the world is right now.
Yep.
Yes.
And even, from a YouTube perspective, he's not making it about him.
Nope.
He's not out there
Well,
like,
no.
look at me, look what I'm doing. This is like
No.
the only thing I've seen him put out is like, hey, if you need help, here's the group chat, send us this. If you need rescuing, here's some stuff. Let's get together. Like he's organizing and helping, and it's not a PR stunt or anything like that. He's not taking advantage of a bad situation. He's literally out there helping, which I think is, good on him, man. Good on
It's
him.
what social media should be used for, really.
Yeah.
Because of
Yeah.
the power of it. So
Yep.
good for him.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I am jealous in the sense that he's able to do that because I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
He's able, and I'm proud of him for doing that. Cool. All right, back to the kids at home. If Gonky gets enough of these, he can buy a helicopter. Thag Simmons says, "Movers, your creator spring site's supposed to work still. I took it down. The whole t-shirt thing needs a revamp, and I don't know what the plan's going to be for that. Maybe eventually I'll do like a Luna shirt and stuff like that. But right now, the only shirts you can buy are on this channel that fund Gonky's motorhome."
Man, you're bagging on old Blue, man. She got us up here.
We want you to come home, Gonky.
I know. So send some good vibes towards old Blue. She needs it.
Those aren't good vibes, dude. That's cash money. It's completely different. Don't use the good vibes.
Cash
joke.
gets you so far, bro.
Yeah,
After
we
that,
get the good vibes. Gonky gets the cash. It's just, it's trickle down. It works somehow. Griff says $5 for Wombat's camper fund.
Love it.
Camper van fund.
Yeah.
Geez. Wombat, you
Dude,
can't
if I
do
buy it, I could drive it down to you. We go shooting.
Why
we
did
can
you
do
wait till we were
content.
live to throw this at me? You couldn't have
Because
done this
there's a lot of
later. I'd have shot holes in this. In private.
I like, first of all,
This is you're a shock jock. You're Howard Stern.
yeah, I'm getting you clicks right now. The appropriate term is you're welcome from the thank you that I did not get.
Thank you for your
Valid.
service.
100%.
Gonky needs to be thanking you, not me.
Thanks, Wombat.
Hey,
Thanks.
Alec here, Wombat. I got one of your
Alec.
shirts, also a Mover and Gonky shirt, and my dad has been building train cars and moving them for 25 years. Tomcats.
Oof.
Hell
Thanks, Alec.
yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome,
Trains
man.
are cool. Have
They
you
are.
ever been at, I don't know if it's still there or not, Museum of
Trains?
Natural Science? Science and Industry or something in Chicago?
Mm.
I want to go, dude. I don't know if it's still there. It's right by Meg's Field, or the old Meg's Field. I don't know what's there now, but it is like a huge train model. And I went when I was a kid, and it was like the coolest thing. Just trains.
Yeah,
Just one big train city.
That's interesting.
Model train, of course, not like real trains like Alec's dad. Which, by the way, Alec, pay no attention to any of the stuff that we told you to put your earmuffs on for, and do not ask your father what it means.
Correct.
Just throwing that out there.
Or do whatever.
Now he's gonna be like, "What was he talking about?"
That's some Uncle Mover advice right there.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Mover. CRPR says, "Have you guys seen the vid of the Russian Sioux brake checking the Alaska?" We have, and that is
We'll get
on
to
the
it.
list.
We'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, it's eventually tonight. We will talk about that. Aaron Franz says, "I love this, especially because the last famous YouTube pilot jumped out of a perfectly good airplane for views. This is the way." Yeah. It's
I mean, I would say Mover's a famous YouTube pilot.
No, but he's talking about, was it
I
Trevor?
know. It was
Whatever that
stupid.
dude's
Trevor
name.
That
Hartsock
was
was his
dumb.
name.
No, Keep kicking the dog.
We're gonna start that rumor.
Mhm.
This famous YouTuber, who was it? Trevor Jacobs.
That's
Trevor
right.
Jacobs is his real name. Yeah, jumped out and let the plane crash and ended up in federal prison.
Mm.
That'll get
Frowned
you.
upon.
Yeah.
That'll get
Yeah.
you every time. Taxes and jumping out of planes. It's not good for you. And then, of course, Patrick says, "Good vibes are as good as cash." Mike Tyson.
God, I'm so glad that hasn't gotten away.
It'll never go away, dude.
No,
I know.
dude, that is
No.
from here.
You
until
earned that
eternity.
one. That's call sign worthy if you were in the Navy. I'm telling you, you know damn well if you had pulled that crap in your first
Oh, yeah.
squadron,
I'd had a cool call sign then. It would have been like Mike Tyson or something.
Gonky is the greatest call sign. For the people
That's
that-
true.
Patton.
But I would have
For the people that know,
it's
it's the greatest call sign right under the radar, low level style. Beautiful. For the people that
What is, if Wombat exists, what is
she does.
Monkey?
Oh
Monkey?
boy.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
How do you?
Yellow
Don't
light.
talk about Mama like that.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference is in an E2 squadron, right? Like we actually care about families. Hornet squadron just eats their young. So like they probably never even met Gonky's mom. But E2
100%.
squadron, they welcomed her with open arms.
True.
There's a lot of love there.
Well, in the Hornet Squadron, it's all mom jokes. They claim to
Yeah.
have met Gonky's mom, but not in
Exactly.
the. Once
Nobody's
again,
making a mom
earmuffs.
joke about Wombat. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
right
Alec.
now. 'Cause you are going to lose that joke.
Alec,
Vic.
why don't you step away for a moment?
Potty break.
Yeah.
Go play
You
with
will
some
lose
trains.
Wombat will kick some ass is what's going to happen. So
Renee says, Museum of Science and Industry. Yes, the train is still there and it's awesome.
that's
Field
cool.
trip,
Yeah.
Donkey. Except for
there's
the
a-
whole, you got to go to Chicago.
I can't remember
Put
if
it on
it
a
was
layover.
Sacramento.
And then I'd have to
Or
go to
San
Chicago. It's that full circle.
Sacramento or
get you
San
every time.
Francisco has a really amazing train museum.
If it's San Francisco, it's probably been taken over by hobos.
Correct. I'm talking like
Probably not
15 year-
anymore.
15 years ago. It was awesome.
There's a lot of things 15 years ago in San Francisco that aren't quite what they are today.
Yeah, I know.
A lot.
I just
So-
it might still maybe it's a
It
survival.
might.
Maybe. I don't
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gronk mom says Aaron France. Momkey. Hey, so we got to do this next one?
Let's
Since
do it.
15 people have asked about it. Doug, do you have that or do I need to do it, so to speak?
Here.
I do not have that. I was looking for pictures of the train museum.
Yeah.
I got one.
Doug, don't worry about the aviation stuff. This is
Yeah, well, I mean,
you're focused on the right thing.
There's
See
an
the ones-
airplane in it.
Hey, see if
Hey,
the
there
one
you
is
go.
still in California.
Is that it?
Sacramento,
That
or-
can't be it. That's it?
That's what.
That's
That's one corner of it.
Oh, because I thought it was way better than that.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
a model train. Isn't it?
I told you it was a model train. I literally
Oh,
said
no,
the
dude.
words
Oh my
model
goodness.
train.
I missed that
This
part
is
because the
painful.
train museum I went to, they're real.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
awesome.
model trains are what's up?
Model
Have you
train.
guys seen that miniature museum in Hamburg?
Like miniature people?
It's miniature.
They're called
Everything.
action figures.
Yes, I've seen it on the YouTubes.
It might have been my Instagram. Thanks for keeping track of that. But when I went over there, unbelievable. I mean, dude, they have the planes taking off and landing, and that place, wow. Like, wow. Just the command center to run the place is insane. So,
All right. I have the video that we can talk about the topic. Uh-oh.
Do I need to pull it up?
What just happened?
Hey, you're still here.
you're still here. Don't say anything bad.
Stay with us,
We can still
mover.
hear you.
Stay with us.
Keep your clothes
I-
on.
I hear 27 versions of me. Hold on. It's like echoing.
How about now?
How about now?
Yes.
What I love about this is
How about now?
the prep
Okay,
that you
hang on.
guys do advice me. Like, I'm like, hey, I bought a new webcam.
There
Let
we
me
go.
see if it works. Click. Yep, works.
There we go.
Oh, we're gonna do this one first.
No,
No.
that's the wrong one.
Oh,
We're at-
oh man.
Switchology invalid.
All right, we're ready?
Do it.
Hold on.
So we're in an F-16.
Yeah.
for
Was that
content,
it?
right?
Is that a bear?
That is a bear.
The world's greatest jet.
The bear?
All
No,
right.
it's a problem. It's not that good.
No, this
It's
thing
actually
right
a cool
here.
video.
See the thing right here?
Press the play mover.
Yeah.
You can hear him go, oh, shit.
Yeah. Hello. I think I heard what he said.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
got some, he's
Pretty
got some
sure I
memo
heard.
words.
Yeah. A
Man.
couple of our
Uh,
viewers might want to go take another potty break.
All right, so there we are. Flanker has the wanker with his orange
How
flight
did he
suit.
get that picture?
His GoPro 360.
GoPro
He's got a
360,
360 camera.
Okay.
because GoPro's in the cockpit.
Was this a US F-16?
Yeah, it's the Eielson Vipers.
Oh,
They used to do Red Air, now they do Alert.
oh, geez.
I love his check away at the end here. I mean, so, the whole objects in mirror are closer than they appear.
Oh, yeah.
The damage is done.
He is probably like 8 feet.
Yeah.
Like, this is a bubble violation beyond which we have ever seen.
Well, as long as, as long
so
as he's like the
NORAD
Viper. Yeah, sorry.
NORAD says on 23 September 24, NORAD aircraft flew a safe and disciplined intercept of the Russian military aircraft in the Alaska Air Defense Identification Zone. The conduct of one Russian Su-35 was unsafe, unprofessional, and endangered all. Not what you'd see in a professional Air Force. Man, he is throwing, getting after him.
I mean, I got a lot of comments that could get us in trouble on this, but
Let's go. Oh, God. Why?
Whoa.
look who's got the best camera now.
That's the wrinkles.
Somebody cares about this
Bad
show.
boy out.
All right, gentlemen, discuss.
What do you think, Mover?
Where's his wingman?
The F-16 or the or the Winker?
The Viper. So, all right, you've got one or two. Where's the other one that should have said, hey, check away,
Guy.
break away, check 6, break right.
Was there
Something.
two?
If
Was
you
there
think
two?
you're dead, things like this, very important things.
yeah.
Brady.
There's
But I mean,
not one Viper doing this.
Yeah, I would-
There's at least 2.
Well, how do they run their intercepts? Because I mean, dude, I've intercepted a bear by myself before. Momentarily.
Usually, I mean, it's possible, but unlikely.
Yeah, I agree. Especially being land based, I'd assume
It's
they'd
an
launch
alert
them in
scramble.
pairs.
This is an alert mission. So,
So maybe the other one
Uh,
went down for maintenance.
Right.
I mean-
that's what I was thinking.
I
don't know.
At launch, you think he broke at launch?
I don't know.
It can happen.
Air
I mean,
Force
it
jets are allowed to break occasionally, Mover. They're not.
It can happen. The Viper's an amazing aircraft, though, and our maintainers are the best in the world.
of course,
think.
but
I love the Air
still,
Force mentality. Let's not get off track, but I do love the Air Force mentality of Mover there being like, a plane broke? Like, next you're going to tell me they're dirty and
Go to
maybe
the
more than a
spare.
year old?
What
Well,
is
it's like,
this?
well,
Ridiculous.
Wombat,
Was the chrome
didn't
not
you,
polished?
Wombat, didn't you just hear the general? I mean, not what a professional Air Force would do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like-
Thanks, Air Skipper. Appreciate
yeah.
it.
Well, I
Professional
mean,
Air Force
that is
might have more
that
than
is
one
pretty
plane
bad.
airborne.
That
too.
was a safety
Mhm.
of flight thing right here, 100%.
I mean,
Yeah, so here's the thing, dude. People, the general's all up in arms, but whatever. What goes around comes around, right? So I have been thumped by my own pals just like this
yep.
as a new guy in the squadron. I have seen intercepts done, maybe even participated on Iranian maritime aircraft that have come out to the carrier. So, and I guarantee you talk to all these Tomcat dudes, Phantom guys from the
Oh, dude, I bet it was awesome.
90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, the heyday of jet aviation. And I'm sure there are plenty of very aggressive. Now, are they, would you say it was, Mover, like 8 feet? I don't know, but I mean, I've said it before, man. I watched my XO just thump the crap out of a Y12, I think it was. I forget. And then immediately we're getting yelled at.
Those in a Hawkeye once.
Yeah, but immediately we're getting yelled at on guard, So
he's either really good or really lucky. I mean, the Su-35 guy is either that was like air show
Some would
level
argue
skill to make that
They go hand in
happen,
hand.
or it just was like, well, it worked out because
Mover, they just put the velocity vector just right
Yeah.
in front of him.
in the Su-35,
Put the
in
thing on the
the-
thing. How hard's that?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know, dude. But
Look.
then, where's his wingman? That's all I'm saying is, where is
Yeah.
his mutual support that allowed him to be surprised?
Well, I think we're the devil's advocate. Not saying what the Sioux did was safe or smart or
You guys
typically
are
what you
Russian
want to get.
sympathizers. That's what this is. Putin.
No, it's not
Payroll.
something you
No,
typically
we're
want to
not.
get
No.
videotaped
No.
doing, is what I'm saying. But I also go with
I was just Lee
Gonky
turning the
that,
comments. Sorry, I was
Yeah,
Lee
it's
turning
true.
what's about to happen.
like, yeah, I've done intercepts on planes. I've done join ups that didn't go as planned. I mean, for all you know, that was just a really poor underrun.
Right. He was actually trying
Right.
to join
Could
up
have
on
just
his
been
What
a
I'm
mistake.
saying. He's either
And he's
very
like-
lucky because of lack of skill, or that was highly skilled
And
to
so,
do that
but then
without
when they
crashing.
come out and it's like professionalism and this was on purpose, it's like, dude, there's a fair chance that dude boogered that thing away so bad and was saying the exact same thing in his cockpit that we heard the Viper guys say. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't
I'm
know.
not
Who's to
saying
say
it was safe.
who's to say the Viper guys didn't arrive on scene by thumping the flanker guys? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's-
Conspiracy theory. Maybe they
it's-
thumped him and they're getting back at him. There's more to this video. When did
Is
they
it
turn the
s-
GoPro on?
Is it smart to do stuff like that? No, because accidents can happen. But
But it does
stuff
make
like
for
that.
cool stories later on in your life, and that's what matters.
But do things like that happen? Yes, on both sides.
Even on your own side, accident.
Correct.
I just want to know where the cover guy was. Where was Maverick?
Yeah. Well,
Was
dude,
he
that-
off dogfighting another MiG and he left
Probably.
his wingman?
Well, dude,
Like,
maybe was there
we
another
learned this.
flanker? I mean, was there another flanker that maybe the F-16 was?
Again,
I don't know.
never. We've watched this in the documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, when Maverick came up through the two planes, way closer than that. So those dudes need to tighten it up a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
our
he's
documentaries
also-
show that you can get closer.
Wombat. The
What is
Russians
that-
probably thought that was real flying, and we're like,
Yeah,
"Maverick
no,
can do it, we
100%
can
they
do
did.
it."
They're like, we could do better.
We
Yeah.
Americans are used to this sort of thing.
You
Yeah.
want to know why? It's our own damn fault. Because we sat there and said there was no CGI, and then
That's
we
true.
put that crap out there, and it's like the Russians are like, "Whoa, we got to step
Yeah.
up our game, boys. Here's some
Yeah.
vodka. Go get 'em."
Dude. Yeah, it's close. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Dude. It
if that happens
I
enough,
got
there's gonna
thumped by a
be a
squadron
There you
mate
go. Colin
once.
says news report said 2 Vipers intercept. So 2 Vipers,
Okay, here we go.
2 Tu-95s, 2 Su-35s
Yeah,
came
but we
within
only
50
see
feet.
one of each.
That is much closer than 50 feet.
Yeah, it's closer to 50 feet,
Well, maybe the other Viper was on the other bear. I mean,
maybe.
right?
I want to see his thump video.
Dude, it's the cat and mouse game, man.
It's
Like, this
Wild
is-
West out there, man. Crazy stuff
It is.
happens.
Yeah, and I just think it's funny. I mean, the general like we always take the high ground. Well, I mean,
Yes,
we try
sir.
to.
Yeah.
Go on,
Eh,
Do our best.
You're-
but
He
You're
might. That's
just-
why he's a general.
That's true. That's why
You're not gonna you're not gonna get another quarterly award if you talk like that with the general.
I if I was a
Gonky
general, I would say the
surprised me.
same thing. I would say the same thing.
Gonky sends out good vibes, thoughts, and prayers, and all that to the Viper pilot who was scared. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm happy
don't think
that
he- I don't think he
nobody
was
got
scared.
hurt. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy nobody
Oh,
got hurt.
he got he had to censor himself. I
It
would
wasn't
be.
smart. It wasn't
I'd be
smart.
startled.
It was unsafe. It wasn't smart. But I'm just saying it happens. Like that's not a look at what only the Russians are doing. I think is a little bit wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
That's all I'm
100%.
saying.
They just got caught doing it. That's all.
Oh well, we
Just
got
saying.
body cam footage.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Could
not
you
what it is.
imagine if there were GoPro 360s back in the 70s
No.
with Tomcats and Phantoms?
Well,
Oh,
there
man.
wouldn't have been the 70s then, because then everybody
should-
would have
they
got
should.
fired.
Yeah,
Code-
that's a good point.
Code Monkey says the F-16 missed a perfect gunshot, which is true. No free trips through my HUD.
That's valid.
Oops, I got
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah,
That was a
he probably
reflex.
had it queued on the bear though.
Probably.
You know, he probably had the old weapon on the bear. It's like,
I bet that broke the lock.
Wow. No, hold on now. It's a
did it
Viper.
transfer? Did the
It's a Viper, dude. It doesn't matter.
yeah, the Hornet's the same way. You can
No, the Hornet's not the same way.
you can go hot gun.
Not with the right, your gun or you rocket to gun
Yeah.
or missile.
I
You
don't
can't
think-
you can't do both.
Oh, that's right. Air to ground, you can have hot gun. Air
In
to
the
air is-
Viper, if you're in dogfight, if you're outboard, you squeeze the trigger, master arm on, that gun's firing.
Hmm.
So he could have no locked as it went through the HUD. Not to say I'm not advocating World War III here. I'm just saying.
Whew,
Would
lock
that
through the
really
HUD.
start it? Man, come on. There's only one way to find out.
Just throwing it out there. Mhm.
All I'm saying is there better be Russian news with some awesome F-16 thumps coming. That's
Yeah,
how this
where's-
game's played. You step up your game.
I want to see the
No.
GoPro from the flanker, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do they even use a GoPro? They're using
Yeah.
like a
Oh yeah.
2012
It's probably
Contour
better.
Rome.
No, dude, there's some great
Like
GoPro footage. of-
Gonky's iPhone.
No, there's.
I still stand by the fact that that's a botched join up.
It might be.
100%.
The new guy, he got a little excited. Woo, Vipers!
Well, the
Oh,
speed brake
oh.
wasn't out.
So,
Dude, he doesn't
That's
want
weird.
everyone to know.
yeah. Also, if you're that
Come
far behind the
on, dude.
aircraft, you might not be thinking to put your speed brake out.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want everyone to know I have closure is absolutely not under
That's
control.
one of those planes that mover guy on the internet flew. I got to get
Yeah,
up close
I'm
and see it.
I'm
I'm
sure
a
when
huge
he
fan.
screwed
Maybe
that-
he's in the chat.
Is that mover ski?
Let's go to the chat.
dude, I'm sure when that happened, he was like, I hope Mover, Gonky, and Wombat don't get a hold of this footage.
Yeah, I'm sure that was his first thought. I'm
That's
sure.
probably
Mhm.
exactly
Yeah.
what went through his
Yeah.
head. Dude.
If it
Aaron
was a
says
different
that gives
country,
me.
he would have been executed. In his country, they made him probably a general for that. Honestly, they're like, keep it up.
Aaron says this gives me Top Gun Maverick flashbacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad nobody got hurt. In
Yeah, same.
summary,
His poopy suit
There's
had
no
poopy
hate
in
in
it.
Yes.
All right. Well,
But-
back to the regular comments. Renee says they have real trains, old engines. So the museum has real trains. Gonky.
Oh,
Stop
okay.
bullying.
Dude,
The
I'm
Chicago
just saying
Museum.
what it looked like.
Patrick says, "Do y'all have thoughts on the aerial parts of Red Storm Rising?" I've never read or watched.
Me neither, Patrick. Sorry, man.
Red
Yeah.
Storm Rising.
I have to check
Doug?
it out though. Now I'm curious. Yeah. Doug.
Doug, what?
I read it.
And
It was good.
there you
well,
go.
there you go, Patrick. It was
You-
good.
I hope that was working in 1999.
But I'm not a pilot.
Money well spent.
But I talked to 3 on a show.
Yeah. If you
He's a-
combine
you're
their
a
IQ,
virtual
they're
pilot.
almost up to a full pilot. So
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a bootleg audio book of it on YouTube too. If you want to
Really?
want to listen to it.
All right.
way
I'll add
to plug somebody not getting paid for their good hard work there, Doug. to
No,
3
dude, there's
authors.
ads.
No,
There'll be ads, Wombat.
There'll be-
There'll be
I've
ads
bought
on-
so many Tom Clancy games. I don't know him anything.
That's valid.
Nathan says, if any of you want are near Northeast Arkansas, I'd be more than that. Gonky, you will be when you fly your C-130.
Okay.
I'll be more than happy to show you how we build hopper cars. I'll take you around the yard in the track mobile,
Oh, that'd be cool.
move a few
That'd be cool.
cars.
What's a hopper car?
That's
Am I supposed to know? Sorry.
dude. The fact that
I was
people
just
still
gonna
give you
pretend like I
money
knew.
surprises me.
it's a-
honestly.
A train car that carries things
Yeah.
like coal and other big dry goods.
Oh.
How did
What?
you not know that?
Ah.
God.
These are your people, Gonky.
Alex is
Hard
playing at the
earned
moment. So
money.
you're safe.
They're just opening their wallets to you.
Whiz
feeling
bam.
bad.
Comment on Israel crossing into Lebanon this hour.
They are.
We've been on here for this hour, so
Yeah, we've been BSing around the water cooler for the last hour.
they didn't tell us.
Hey,
You're
there's
late,
a hopper.
Doug. We're talking about Israel now.
Okay.
I'm not
That-
putting up
that's
pictures of
trains.
Israel.
That's trains.
I don't know. Was that again?
I have no thoughts on such things.
Yeah,
We're always at war or something.
correct. If it's in the desert, there's a war. We're in it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is your topic.
What do we got?
Send
All
it.
right. Here we go.
You didn't tell me we were doing. Well, you didn't tell me anything we're doing. So
Wombat,
fine.
dude, I knew you were
you
going to
just
be
want to
on.
get me
This-
fired up on this one, man.
No, listen. Okay, so Navy will. Okay, so actually, a Hornet guy from Lemoore sent me this. Said the JOs in the fleet are up in arms, which means
As they
they're
should
mad.
be.
Yeah, exactly. So, whenever you sign up to be a pilot, you incur a commitment, And then for us, Wombat, what was it? 8 years after Wings?
8 after, yeah.
8 after Wings. I don't know what it is now. But,
Probably
so the
10.
Navy will
They're
force.
probably all 10 now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Navy will force aviators to remain in service after complete sea tours. So correct me if I'm wrong, Wombat, but typically back in the day, the way it worked was your 8-year commitment would usually end midway-ish through your second sea tour, which was usually
Depending on how long flight school took.
correct. Exactly. So, and if that happened, you could submit your paperwork to get out and they would let you out. But that seems to not be the case anymore. So the Navy will now require naval aviators to serve past their minimum service requirement in order to complete their second 2-year sea tour. And it's because they don't have enough people. So this is, yeah. Naval Personnel Command has historically signed off on mid-tour separation requests. Navy pilots, flight and NFOs will now fulfill their entire length of sea tour prior to departing the service. So it looks like it's not even an option now to even ask to be let out. Looks like you're going to finish those orders. So what is
I'm
it?
sure that'll help build more
Morale.
naval aviators quickly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. So here we go. We're in the warfighting business. This is one way we're going to continue to increase readiness. We understand there's concerns.
This is totally going to increase readiness.
Yeah,
1,000%.
well, look, it says we're communicating this more than a whole year in advance so that people can ask questions and plan their careers. Ultimately, it reduces turnover, creates opportunity for more junior officers to complete the shore duty in the future. Yeah, awesome. So they kind of go through this little damage control as far as it's not that bad. But pretty sure Wombat, I mean, you know, okay, they have this problem because they've squandered their manning and they've squandered I think their most valuable resource, which is the people through poor leadership. But I will say, you know, it is a military. I think back in the day, right, if you accepted a set of orders, was it more than 2 years? Like they could say no. Wasn't there some clause like that?
Yeah, there was something there for sure.
Yeah.
But
So
like, dude, and I don't want to interrupt you, but let's not make this anything that it's not. Okay. This is not a pat on the back, raise the American flag. We're going to fight. This is piss poor leadership trying to put a Band-Aid fix on something that they created. They slit their wrists and they're trying to fix it with a Band-Aid. And it's crap because this is not going to help anything in the long term. It might help things in the short term, but I'll tell you what, I bet those aviators are going to be stoked. How about the dude? Well, we're putting this out a year ahead of time so people can plan their careers. What about the dude that's within 2 years of getting out and already had planned his career? Right?
Yeah.
It's garbage. And this is so, listen, I served, I went to wars, I did commands that I didn't want to do. I followed orders from people that frankly, I shouldn't have even been following orders for because they were not good or smart enough to be giving those orders. But I did it because that's what I signed up for and I raised my hand for. And that's what these guys and girls do too. This has nothing to do with a piss poor Band-Aid fix of leadership. And frankly, it doesn't surprise me from the other thing that PERS 43 pulled just a few months ago. They don't care about their people. And it's like, you don't need somebody on YouTube to tell naval aviators they don't care about their people. They're doing it for me. I don't need to even get upset because this is such garbage. It's like you've called people that get out before their commitment terrorists. Or I'm sorry, get out at their commitment. At their commitment, not before. At their commitment, you've called them terrorists. Terrorists, for Christ's sakes. You have then taken down and gone against your own social media rules. And then now, when that didn't work to fix retention, we're going to do this. So yeah, that'll fix it. Because what's going to happen now is you're going to have the next generation that looks at this and goes, wait a second, why would I even join? But here's the thing, and my dad said this to me once, and I love this, and I'll bring it up again. It was when I was in Meridian, I was at the wing, and both of the skippers went to PERS to talk about, this was back in 2012, to talk about the airlines hiring. And one of the skippers, great dude from BT7, was like, hey, Admiral, like, what's the Navy going to do about retention? Because if the airlines start hiring, right? Because remember, there was that buildup in 08, and then it never happened because of 60 to 65. Right. So that kind of saved the military. But then now we're getting 2013, 2012, 2013. Like it's impending. Like there's no way it's not going to happen. And it did. And I mean, in droves, people got out, myself included. And this commander of a squadron who I highly respect asked the admiral, what is the Navy doing to prevent this? And the admiral goes, I don't see this as a problem. And I told that to my dad. He's an extremely smart man. And he goes, yes, that is what the admiral said. But what you realize is what he really meant is, I don't see it as my problem, because I'm going to be done with this set of orders by the time that's an issue. And that's the same thing. The people making these decisions go, hey, if I could stopgap this issue for 2 years, I'm out. I'm on to something else. And I need my job at a big corporation, and I need all that stuff. So this will look good for me because the retention is going to be there. It's the same crap, man. It's the same piss poor leadership.
Yeah. I mean, one side, hey, it's military. This is kind of what you signed up for, right? But on the flip side, it's like, okay, man, if you screw your people, there's going to be repercussions later. So
100%.
to kind of add to what everything you says 100% right, Wombat. But if you end up screwing your people enough, it doesn't matter if the airlines are hiring or not, because I became a RAG instructor in 2009 when nobody was hiring.
Yeah.
And they were sending almost every single fighter pilot who rolled to their shore tour on an IA, and every single guy and gal that I knew that was a RAG IP then that could get out was getting out. And no one, and they were just like, they were so mad they had to go spend a year driving around in a Humvee in the desert or whatever, helping the Army because they were broke. Yeah. So
I mean, you and I both have a friend that was a head postmaster at a FOB after being a Top Gun graduate.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on. This isn't.
Yeah. No, yeah. Peaches brought that up when I interviewed him. Exactly. So, if you kick the dog enough, bad things will happen.
Coming home one day.
Yeah.
That's for
So
sure.
this
is that a threat, Gonky? Are you threatening?
No. It's just a figure of speech.
Certain dogs will take a lot.
Yeah. Some dogs don't even know they're getting kicked. So
it's true.
But yeah,
true.
So
and they're the best hinge in all of the.
A mover in the air. I don't even know, man. In the Air Force, once you reach, the end of your commitment, can you get out right then? Do you have to ask, or how does it work?
No, you can get out. I mean, it's a 10-year commitment, and
did he just freeze?
He's frozen.
He's frozen.
Gosh, man, it was like.
It was perfect too, because it looked like he was pausing for thought.
Yeah, I waited way too long to figure out he was out.
He still might be thinking about.
He might be. I bet this is some profound stuff right now.
This is like.
Look at the picture. Look how perfect you are. You were right at that pause for thought.
Dude, I'm like, hey.
I can't even see the picture. I don't even know what it looks like. I told you Chrome was doing Chrome things.
Please finish finish your. I'm on edge right now, dude.
I know.
Get cut off at the perfect time.
I already said everything, and now I'm done.
No, dude, we didn't hear anything.
That's why I'm done now. I don't
You're killing us. We waited for like 15 seconds before we realized
you're like Forrest Gump when he's giving his speech. Like, they unplug it.
So it reminds me of Boeing. As I was going to say, it reminds me of Boeing. Leadership by spreadsheet. This is not a symptom of anything other than we don't address people. We don't lead people. We don't think about people. We think about numbers. We think about COGS. We think about cost units. We think about everything that dehumanizes our fighting force. And when you do that, it's great when things are going well, when you got an unlimited budget because you're fighting two wars and everybody's behind it. When you've got, the public support because, we just got attacked and everybody wants to find something to be mad at and we've got to go to war over it. And you've got willing people that are wanting to go and sign the dotted line and they don't care really how or what cost. So when that happens, everything works great. The spreadsheet, it's green. You're in the black. It's not a problem. But over time, that spreadsheet starts to bleed because the variables start to change. And when the variables start to change and you've lost that human element, you've lost your fighting force and you've lost your people, because people follow leaders. They don't follow managers. And when you get into that situation, you have disgruntled, experienced aviators who are the ones that teach the younger ones. The younger ones show up. They learn from the disgruntled, tell them, look, dude, be in it for you. Don't care about the greater good, the flag waving, all that stuff. You're just here for you. And then that permeates throughout your entire fighting force. And those people get out because they have options. And the ones that stay are the spreadsheet managers, because that is what we've created. We've created wickets for promotion that involves spreadsheets, checking boxes and checking this. And did you do this? And did you go through this class? Even though the class is stupid and the people running it are stupid, you had to do it. So the ones that succeed are the ones that embraced it. And they were like, oh yeah, this is great. You know, I really learned a lot from writing that paper on. No, you didn't. You didn't learn anything because you haven't done anything in your entire career. But those are the ones that move on, and then they turn around and go, well, I did it, so you have to do it too.
Yep.
And I was a part of this, so you have to too. So the spreadsheet just keeps growing to the point that when a problem finally presents itself, there are no common sense solutions. It's, well, we've got a commitment. I can legally do this. This is what we're going to do. The numbers are going to match. And just like you were talking about before, Wombat, it's not my problem after my tour. And we've kicked the can because we've run out the people that actually care about the people that are under their charge. So, and it's the same thing. I mean, on the civilian side, you saw it at Boeing. When the accountants took over, the company fell apart. Like, quality went down because accountants and budgets and all that stuff versus, the equivalent is engineering with Boeing, leadership in the military. You have to be leadership oriented and people oriented, or else you will lose. And, I have served with commanders that I would follow into the gates of hell. Those are the ones that people will go, you know what, it kind of sucks now, but I've got the best commander in the military and I'll do whatever he asks me to do because I believe in the greater good, because he's instilled the mission into me. Once that mission is in here and I've internalized it, dude, all bets are off. I mean, people will put up with a lot of stuff, but when you've made it a corporate entity and you've told people that it doesn't really matter about the mission, we care about your flight suit, your boots, your morale patches. We're going to do uniform inspections. We're going to keep you past your commitment. We're not actually going to go to war. We're just going to kind of burn holes in the sky. But hey, make sure you log this so you're green. But we don't really care if you actually, like, what message do you send? I don't think there's ever going to be a shortage of qualified applicants because you don't know any better. That initial tier typically doesn't know any better. But who's going to train them? It's who's going to carry the boats, right? Who is going to be the one that instills that sense of purpose and that sense of mission and keeps them staying? And you can't do it by extending the commitment, because guess what? The kids are getting smarter. And eventually they're going to go, you know what? 10 years. I've even seen this. I've seen people go, well, I want to go to the airlines. Well, I can't because I got to go 10 years. Well, they just don't do it. They go straight to the airlines and you never see them, so it is a threat to national security.
Well, and that's a good point. And that leader would counter to you, well, you know what, Mover? I don't want that person that's not willing to give up 10 years to go to the airlines. And it's like,
exactly.
You don't
100%.
even know what you want, because you're going to get to a point where you'll take anybody, frankly. I mean, that's going to be what this is about. And I mean, again, I agree with you, and Gonky, and I know because he was nodding when you said it too. We've all worked for people. I mean, Trim was one of mine, man. I would have flown off Trim's wing into the gates of hell in an E2 with no weapons. Like, if he told me we were going, I'm going, right? That guy was an amazing leader. Nasty was the same way. Amazing leader. If he told me, like, Wombat, you got to go solo fly your Hawkeye into that Russian bear, I'd be like, yes, sir. This is going to suck, but I'm doing it, right? But the problem is those guys are gone. Right. And the people that have been promoted up, I don't even know if they know the mission anymore. What is the mission? Because we just spent 20 years fighting a damn war that we pulled out of in a laughable way that took all of our careers and just made it a freaking joke. Right. And nobody got held accountable for that.
Nope.
What leader was held accountable?
One person got fired.
Zero.
Nobody got fired. Exactly.
Zero. Not one.
Exactly.
Not one. I've been fired more times in my career
Yes.
for dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that doesn't even count. Like, you guys know. I mean, even recently. But that's not the point. What I'm saying is, like, so nobody got held accountable. So what's the mission? The mission is exactly what you said. Make sure you do, your Navy knowledge online, because that's important. You're going to learn a lot about, human trafficking, which is horrible, but trust me, I don't need to do a computer program every 6 months to tell me that. I'm a decent human being.
Drinking's bad. Drinking's bad.
Make sure, yeah, don't shake your baby. Don't shave your genitals. I mean, all the stuff that I'm like, who makes this garbage, dude?
Bystander intervention, that's important.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And it's just like, dude, stop. Your job as a military member is to take your enemy and send them to their creator before they do it to you. Period. Case closed. That's it. Period. Show me the real leaders. And I know there's some up there. I know they're out there. I have faith that they are out there. Show me those leaders. Promote the hell out of those leaders, and we have a chance. You keep promoting these chicken shits, dude, we're done. Are you kidding me? If that's your way of taking care of your people, you know what your people wouldn't do? They wouldn't piss if you piss on you if you were in fire. That's what your people are going to do. That's the people. They're not going to follow you in anything. Period. And it's garbage, man. It's such garbage. So, and it's, you know what? Unfortunately, it's either going to take the real leaders that have command, that have a voice in the military to step up and say, this is enough, and actually do something and not worry about what cushy job they're going to get when they retire with some contractor. They actually go back to why they joined 20 plus years ago and actually step up. Or it's going to take some major attack like we had to reset this. And unfortunately,
well,
I think I know which one it's going to be.
I would, this is maybe a little bit of a tangent, but I think it's relevant to the retention side of things and the national security issue. You could afford to do this when you had a strong Air Reserve component, both Air Force and Navy, because the experienced people would get out of the regular Air Force, regular Navy, whatever, and then jump to the strategic reserve where they could be called up at a moment's notice. Remember, is it VFA 201 that went out, from Carswell and just like wiped the floor? Yeah, wiped the floor with everybody because they were just like the best ball flyers. They were like, they deployed and then they shut them down right after. But
somebody forgot their Navy knowledge online while they're out there slaying. But it wasn't their fault. They had to take them down.
But historically speaking, pre 2000s, mid 2000s, as we started with the sequestration and stuff like that, we had a place for the experience to go that was cyclical with the airlines. Because, they got out, they've got their airline job, they still flew. And we retained that knowledge, we retained that experience. But in the last 15 years, maybe even more, we have sold our soul in the fifth gen pursuit. We've sold our soul in trying to be active duty light in the reserves, both sides. And what do we have? VFA 204 is now VFC 204, right? They're not even, they're not they have no strategic reserve capability anymore.
Yeah, they're F5s. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've created job landing on carriers. Horrible.
Yeah. Here's Luna, by the way. But what I'm saying is people, they don't realize how important it is until we get into a shooting war and it's too late. Because you need that reserve. That's the name. You need that ability to call back to that experience. And Linda's out. She's like, I don't like what you're talking about.
She's upset about this too. This affects her.
But you need that. You need that experience. You need those airframes. You need low cost airframes that you can augment. Day 6 to 9 of the war. That's not first tip of the spear, stuff like that. You need that experience base to fill the gaps. We don't have that because the reserves have been gutted through budget cuts. I mean, this was an article we probably should have talked about, but the 706 Fighter Squadron is losing their Vipers. That's a whole nother Red Air squadron they just got rid of. And eventually, I guess maybe they'll go F-35s or whatever. But it's just like what happened to us at Tyndall/Eglin and the 301st. Is you take these millions of dollars of training, experience, we were there for the young dudes. We were able, I mean, if we needed to, if the war kicked off, we could easily transition to any 4th gen fighter, maybe 5th gen fighter, and have been that experienced cadre. But instead they said, you know what, we don't need you anymore. You go find a job or get out. We don't care. It goes back to the people first thing. And it's not a hit on AFREC or whatever. It's a paradigm with really Congress and how we are shaping our fighting force and going, reserves aren't as important as we thought they were. When, if you look historically, reserves are the ones that bear the burden of war, because Desert Storm, dude, they called up the 706 Fighter Squadron and T-Bear, and they called up, one of the first air-to-air kills in an A-10 was an A-10 from the 706 Fighter Squadron, a reserve unit. Those are the ones that help you fight and win wars. And if you don't take it seriously, and if you don't have a place for that experience to go, you know what they do? At 10 years, they say, see you later, pull chocks, I'm out. And they just get out. They just straight separate, and that's it. You've lost that experience. You never get it back. And once they've tasted freedom, see you later.
Oh, dude. I see it all the time. I mean, I'm flying with new hires, and I'm like, oh, are you in the military? And we have our little bro chat about how cool we used to be. And I'm like, so what are you doing in the reserves? And they look at me, and they're like, and I'm like, well, TRICARE. They're like, not worth it, bro. And I'm like,
we can't. I mean, we can't. The bottom, like you said, mover 5th gen, all this. We can't afford. We can't afford the military that we want, basically.
We need.
Well, we can't. I mean, that's why they're well. Let's close this down. Let's save some money here. Close this down, and they don't even look at the value of.
Sure, afford giving money to other places, though, right?
It's like every time I talk to somebody, it's like, well, that unit's going away. Well, this unit's sunsetting. We're going to transition to this. We don't know what's going to happen, because we've put all our eggs in this F-35. And dude, we knocked the F-35 as Fat Amy or whatever. It's a great capable airplane, but you need that 4th gen. You need the filler. You need the A-10, the EX, or something for. Because
just numbers.
Not always going to It's not always going to be day one. Day one is, when you're not in that. Well, the A-10's not survivable. Well, no, it's not survivable day one, but we don't fight day one 150 times. We fight day one once, and then eventually we're either losing or we're winning, and the A-10 can go in and an uncontested environment and do the actual work. Because what have we found with history? It's the boots on the ground. It's the boots on the ground that have to go in and take it, not the air war. The air war ends. It's the dude in the foxhole that we got to support.
And it's like, got to learn this over and over. And they brought it up in the movie, man. It's not the airplane. It's how well trained are your people. And I'm sorry, like, ask 5th gen guys how much they're flying. Like, we don't have enough money to get the training.
Dude, I can only imagine how poor comparatively, because it was going downhill when I was still flying the Hornet. Hey man, go up into the MOA and just maxi and try to check off as many boxes as you can. And I'm like, but I'm not doing any of this stuff. Well, but we got to burn the flight time too, or we're not going to get it. I'm like, well, why don't
you roll off the 180?
You
roll off the 180. Count it as a bomb delivery.
As a bomb delivery off the 180.
That's right.
But
hey, if you overshoot final and you got to come back, that's BFM, brother. That's right there. That's BFM. Count it. I mean, it's so freaking ridiculous, man. And then we wonder why people are flying to the ground. Planes are getting come on, dude. This isn't even hard leadership stuff. Like, there are some genuine hard leadership challenges in the world. There really are. This is easier than the coach pitch I just watched my son play. Like, this is the softest of softballs. Like, this is not like, I don't need history's greatest leaders on this one. It's like, stop crapping on your people, and your people will stick around.
Yeah.
Pretty damn simple.
All right. Well, I think we've, the horse is dead for sure.
We fixed nothing.
Colin says, I'd heard a story of a handful of former RCAF Hornet guys who've asked for their release after an RCAF head said they don't have a retention problem. They have a loyalty problem.
Yeah, that's a great way to.
Ugh.
Wow. I mean, that's up there. That's like the RCAF's version of calling somebody a terrorist for doing their commitment.
Yeah.
So that's good.
They got a lot of problems.
Aaron says Mover's the new master of suspense. Yeah. Dude, I don't know what's going on. Chrome has just like something changed recently and Chrome just crashes. Just something's not right. I don't know what's going on. It just crashes with no warning either. Mover was giving Doug extra time to roll the disclaimer. I hope you did while I was gone. Airwolf 2.0, keep as a 222 or upgrade to a Bell 430. Well, if you're going to do a Bell upgrade, you do Bell 429 because they do make a retractable gear Bell 429 that's newer than the 430 and smaller. Doesn't look like a minivan or a mega van in Wombat's case.
Camper van.
Camper van.
You'll be
van.
jealous.
Yeah.
Aaron says those in charge are not leaders if no one will follow them.
Valid.
Can you imagine like you
dude,
look
like
at
a huge
the
mutiny.
movies with like 300, right? You know, Spartan, what is your profession? You know, I mean, we're a bunch of Arcadians now. You know, nobody, we're just kind of meandering around.
Yeah.
I mean, even look at Maverick, right? I mean, it's like he steals a Hornet, goes out on his own, checks into the area, and that's not 15 seconds on. Dude, if that happened in real life,
dude, I'll tell you what. The majors aren't calling you for a job at the airlines after the amount of court martialing you got done with. That's for sure.
But the if that actually happened, the JOs would be like, oh my gosh, dude, that is freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, the morale-o-meter would go off the charts.
Yeah. Sign
100%.
now. Sign the dotted line now.
Exactly.
Ron says, no wonder the Air Force and Navy are betting hard on drones.
Yeah.
Are they though?
Somebody's got to fly the drone.
Good luck.
Mike says that's the issue we always had in the time of no war. Military gets screwed, then we get our teeth kicked in, and then we scramble to man up.
Yeah.
Yep. If only we could learn.
Yeah.
If only
history could teach us.
Eric says, good evening, gentlemen. Speaking of bad decisions, the last KC-10 was delivered to the Boneyard on Thursday. Is that a topic? Can we just segue into that now?
Yeah.
There it is.
Hold on. You want me to do it?
I do.
Hold on. Is it up there? You got it?
It's ready. You can just hit the button.
All right. Oh, thank you. Travis Air Force Base bids farewell to the last KC-10. So being a fighter guy, I don't know a lot about tankers, but my current boss is our KC-10 guys. So I read through this article and it kind of surprises me. The KC-10 is like, it can carry more than a C-17 and something like carry twice as much fuel as a KC-135. I looked at it compared to the Pegasus is supposed to replace it, carries more cargo and fuel. So like in my mind, I'm like, man, why are they getting rid of this thing? Now I get it. They built 60 of them. But it's by far the most capable tanker, like numbers wise, on paper. And then having
just answered your question on why they're getting rid of it then.
Yes. It's awesome. Must get rid of it. So
yeah.
And it's been I think 40, I can't remember.
How's the maintenance though?
For 40 years. I mean, it's basically an airliner, like cruise
44
and
years.
Yeah, 44 years. Yeah. So I asked a KC-10 guy, hey, why are they getting rid of it? And he thought it was because they only made 60 of them. It was part of the problem. So I don't know how many KC-135s they made, but there is economics of scale with the number of airplanes that you build. But if you look at performance numbers, the airplane replacing it doesn't cut it. And really, there's nothing before it that even came close. And having been on the receiving end of tankers, KC-10 is by far my favorite tanker ever.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
On a frag card when I got a KC-10.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah. You see the 3 engines and you're like, it's going to be an easy day.
It's going to be easy. It's going to be easy.
I
love it.
It's too bad. It's great. I'm surprised. 44. I mean, it's how you know you're getting old. It's been around. 40, 44, 45 years is a long time for an airframe. But I don't know. Moore, what do you think, man? Thoughts on the KC-10 retirement?
Well, yeah, it was my favorite. I mean, anytime you saw a KC-10 on, when you pulled up, because sometimes you didn't even know, you just showed up and you're like, oh, the KC-10, that's great. The problem, so I go back and forth on this because I'm reading the article and it's like, well, it's 44 years old. I'm like, well, that's true. We do need to buy new things because we would be sitting here complaining if, the military weren't trying to buy new things. But then on the other hand, the KC-135 will not die. And it's still around.
It's the worst.
Wish it would, though.
It's the
Really
worst.
wish it would.
Well, if we're going to keep one,
Yeah.
let's keep the one, let's keep the good one. But the other issue goes back to our previous rant about Boeing, and everything it touches now is garbage because of their spreadsheet obsession.
Enter KC 46.
46. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So
Oh, you mean that's not perfectly on time, early, and ready to go, and going to be more mission capable? No.
if the KC-46 were the rock star that we were sold on paper, as far as, it's going to be new, everything's going to be great, you can do all this stuff. Yes, it might not be as capable, but it's new, and they're still making them. The assembly line still exists, and I mean, the KC-10 is based off of the DC-10, and what company is Douglas now? Boeing. Yeah. So consolidation of the industry really has hurt us.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That is so nice to take off of, though. Like,
dude, I think
felt like I could do aileron rolls back there on that thing.
They had 300,000 pounds to give. That's crazy.
Well, they were what they call them, the Gucci Mafia. They all had. They were all like.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I was reading up about them the other day. I think the only one they ever lost was on the ground doing maintenance.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think they ever had. Yeah. Which, is a testament to the maintainers and the guys and gals who flew it. I mean, yeah, I'm sad to see it go. It was my favorite tanker.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Sad. Yep. All right. Well, good talk. Eric says that was that. Okay. So Robert says it almost seems like a total lack of common sense. If an airframe gets grounded, that means the entire fleet is grounded. So how can you have everything dependent on one airframe? It's insane.
Yeah. No, it's
dude.
Aaron says, is your Chrome developed by Boeing now? I don't know.
Nope, just been hacked by Boeing. That's all.
Yeah. Captain says, retiring from RCAF in January after 23 years, old injuries caught up, but can confirm a lot of the ones you got in around 01 are out the door too. Sadly. Sad but true.
Yeah, dude.
It is worldwide. But then again, a lot of it is because, NATO, they see and they copy, or they, it's the same mentality. It's, they're all, there's no different. Plexi, Wombat.
Plexi.
Glad I'm at least catching the tail end of this. My dumb job kept me late. Well, thank you for working to provide Gonky with $4.99 for his RV. Holly Movie Star says, what do you guys think of the new Marine One, the VH-92? Just watched a YouTube video of it picking up POTUS after recent 9/11 events in New York City. I don't know much about it, but I'm sure it's a bloated contract. That
it's the Osprey, isn't it?
No, the 92 is a different helicopter.
Oh,
it's got to be a heloflopter.
It's a helicopter. It's a helicopter. It's not the Osprey. Joe says, Airwolf. There he is. Hi, guys. Nice. Welcome back, Wombat. Of all the shows to miss, last week was the worst. Airwolf, but thanks for being a good stand-in, Wolfie. You're welcome. Cloud says, question, what type of air missions are taking place in Ukraine, specifically fighters? It seems to be low level only and very rare. Curious of y'all's perspective. Gonky.
I looked a little bit today about what was going on in the air war, and it sounds like both sides are kind of, for lack of better words, half-assing it, right? Ukraine doesn't want to lose all of its F-16s. Russia doesn't want to lose a bunch of its expensive fighters to the Patriots. So I think it's, snapshot view is very just standoffish right now. No one's really making any headway, but that's my completely uneducated
No, I wouldn't say uneducated. I'd say actually, as somebody who fought in a war that we never tried to win for 20 years, you're kind of a subject matter expert.
Yeah, that's your opinion, Wombat. Thanks.
Cheers.
Robert says at Fort Dix McGuire Air Force Base, I got to watch 8 KC-10s doing some kind of tandem low approach and then lift off again repeatedly for like an hour. DC-10 was my first airline experience too. Sad to see it go. Good plane. DC-10 was one of my favorites as a kid.
Yeah,
not
it's
me.
Cool plane.
Why not you?
Because they had a bit of a rough beginning, man. It was known as the Death
the
Cruiser
MD-11,
10.
I guess, would have been the
So the MD-11 was the new and improved version of the DC-10, but they had like I said, they had a rough go in the early 70s, and then once they fixed all the problems with the DC-10, it ended up being a good airplane. But yeah.
Oh yeah, that's probably why they made it the KC-10, because they're like, we got all these airframes. What do we do?
Right.
Make them tankers. Give them to the military.
Yeah.
They don't mind dying.
Yeah. Hey, they're cheap.
Yeah, that's the language we spend.
That's
we like
awesome.
to spend that kind of money. All right, it is. What is ground collision, Gonky? Or high time Hornet pilot? What are we talking about?
Here, let me get it up here.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who hasn't prepared for this.
Dude.
Makes me feel good.
Here's the thing. I want to say I'm disappointed. We got 700
Lots of
viewers,
things.
and when Kevin LaRosa was on, we only had like 400. Where were y'all?
Foosball game, maybe?
What was
There's a football
different
game on
between
tonight.
then and now?
I don't know.
What
I
was
wouldn't miss
different?
Kevin LaRosa.
Airwolf is way more.
Yeah, look at
than-
maybe it's Wombat.
Yeah, but
Maybe
Wombat-
Airwolf's propeller's the wrong direction. I'm just saying. I don't look. We can only
he's
speculate.
not even supersonic, dude.
The props are.
Well, let's be honest. Neither is a Super Hornet, but
All
anyways.
of Airwolf.
All right, here, dude. Here, ready? Add to stage. What was it?
Doug had it.
2 weeks ago? Yeah, dude, whatever. 2 weeks ago, I think it was me and Skid talked about the high time A-10 pilot with 7,500 hours. And here is
What?
what?
Is he really?
Who?
That's Beavis.
Yes. You know Beavis?
Yeah, I flew with him.
Really? At 204?
Yeah. Well, he was always a staff guy. He was at TSW.
Yeah. Well, there you go, dude. Well, hey, he's got a 5,000 hour patch in the Hornet. So he is a Boeing instructor pilot like I used to be, but in Kuwait.
Wow.
And yeah, man. So he got hired with Boeing, I think it says in 2017. And he first started flying the Hornet in 96, did his time in the Navy, and then he's flying with the CAF now. And, I read through this, and he's talking about getting old, flying BFM, and basically having a good time, and how excited he is about Block 3 Super Hornets. And then at the very
to
end
make you
here,
sad.
pretty much, I was like, the whole time I'm reading this, I'm like, Beavis. It's
You
like,
know Beavis. You know Beavis, right?
I know of him. I've never actually met him.
Oh, he was there at 204 when you were there.
I don't think so, man.
2017. Oh yeah. If he retired,
on.
yeah, because he was a TSW guy.
Was he? So he
Yeah.
guest flew a 204?
He would go fly the Prowler when they had the Prowler.
Prowler or
He'd
Growler?
guest fly everything. Prowler. When we
Really?
still had the Prowler, he would go guest fly with the Prowler guys.
I didn't know that. Yeah. So, well, dude, he's been with Boeing for 7.5 years, and his next, I guess he's not going to stay in Kuwait to fly the Block 3. He's going to go off and fly the F-15 QA, which I'm just
Wow.
like, yeah, dude. I'm like, oh, gosh, Boeing,
Dude.
make better life choices, dude.
Why'd you pick
That's-
this article? You wanted to segue into the mental health minute because we're going to need mental health now?
No, I actually thought it kind of. I actually thought it kind of went in with what you're talking about with losing talent, right? I mean, here we got an older fighter pilot with 5,000 hours, just like
but
Skid and I
think
talked
he just
about.
retired though. I don't think he was forced out or anything.
No, he wasn't. But I'm just saying, older guys with a lot of experience, they go and do other things. And I thought it was cool that he's a Hornet guy with 5,000 hours. And I found a Marine Hornet pilot with 5,000 hours. Wombat, do you know anybody who's got more than 5,000? Because that's a lot.
No, that's a lot of hours in that seat.
Mover and Viper, what's the high time? Do you know? Because I mean,
No idea.
What's his face was 7,500 in the E10. That's incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a cool story. I'd love to have 5,000 hours in the Hornet, but I don't. And now I'm envious of Beavis. So that's my story.
You'll get 5,000 in the Airbus. Don't feel bad.
Oh, dude.
Have you even hit 1,000 yet?
No, I'm not very good. I'm good enough.
Joe says Wombat brings the viewers and then gives Gonky $2.
But
$2
Wombat gets
worth
the
of vibes.
vibes, dude.
That's
Woo-wee.
vibes. That's vibes.
Trickle down vibes.
Yeah, I need
All right.
those. I need those
Well,
right now.
do you want to talk about your boat stuff, Gonky, or do you want to move on to the mental health minute?
It's over to you, Mover. It's
Talk about your boat.
It's painful for Mover. All right. Of course, we have Wombat LSO on. So I always like to try to bring a Navy LSO type story. So, so this one I can only show 13 seconds because I think YouTube gets mad when you show things where the outcome's not so good. But I know they showed this video to Wombat at LSO school, and they showed it to us when we were in API because we were in the same class. Wombat. And my question for you when you watch it is, you were a fleet LSO and then you were a VT LSO. And I'm just curious, you know, watch this play out and then, you know, what the differences were, like, you know, things that went wrong or whatnot.
Sure.
Doug, I'll play it since.
Yeah, I've got it, but I think it works better with
I think
your
I know
network.
what video this is, and I'm going to try not to get too upset.
Let's see.
Okay.
Share screen. Let's see. Share. Hold on. Oops. Oh yeah, there it is. Hold on.
What is this? Why are
Can you
Ford,
guys?
why
you
are
see
Ford,
it?
Ram, and GM screwed?
Yeah, that's
All right. Ready? Here we go. So here we go.
Put it on speed. You're on the power. Wave it off. Wave it off. Wave it off. Watch out.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
That one. So that is a
T2.
T2.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't make it, and I think there was 4 guys on the ground. And if you find that video on the YouTubes and watch it, you'll see big fireball. You'll see canopies flying as students are trying to get out of their now burning airplanes and pandemonium. So I'm just curious. I mean, I know what happened, but as far as when you became an LSO in the training command, was there differences training? Like, for example, in the fleet, I knew there was like wave off windows, and
Sure.
I think you guys would use your judgment on like, hey, Gonky's pretty shitty, so we're going to put the wave out window out there a little ways.
Sure.
Because
yeah, that was in the LSO NATOPS, actually. It's specifically your name.
but I mean, was it, so when you became a VT training command, LSO, and you were getting your quals, was there specifics that came out of maybe this particular incident as far as like getting rid of students like early or what?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. And, you know, so when you're a fleet LSO, I've talked about before, it's like a fraternity, you know, you kind of rush it at first. And, you know, and if you start moving your way up, eventually you have to go to LSO school, which I believe at the time was 2 weeks long, which was
Good.
It was a good time. It was a good 2 weeks, and we learned a lot, but you also had a lot of fun in that 2 weeks in Virginia Beach at LSO school. And then, you know, you go back to your fleet, and eventually if you get your wing qual and all that, you can go on and wave at the VTs or the RAG or, you know, FRS, whatever. But then if you go to wave at the training command, the RAG, the VTs, etc., like you have to go back to LSO school. And I remember going back, I was like, all right, like I guess I'll go drink on the beach again for a couple days. And you know what I mean? Like, really, we have to go back for, like, we're the best of the best. We're the fleet guys, right? And then that's when all this stuff gets introduced. And it was probably the most humbling and eye-opening differences of a job I've ever done, because, you know, everybody at the fleet, now granted, the conditions are significantly different, right? You and I have both been in some pretty hairy situations with weather and pitching deck and malfunctions and all that, which typically don't happen in the training command because your sea state has to be so low and all this crazy stuff. But the X factor is a student, and we were all there. I mean, I remember, you know, Bluto Rich. I still remember it, man. All right, Todd. He's like, meatball lineup angle of attack. Meatball lineup angle of attack. That's all I want you to think. Like, when you roll in, call the ball, meatball lineup angle of attack. Just over as fast as you can. What did I do the first time T-45? I call the ball and I'm like, holy shit, why am I here? What? Oh my God.
Whoa.
Are they going to wave off? And I was like, oh, thank God. Oh,
Yeah.
gee, what am I doing here? Like, there was nothing, like zero, anything that was applied at the field, a month of working at the field, gone. Like, in that instant, gone. So you had to now, one, really know your students. And that's why, especially in the VTs, and I believe the FRS is similar, you would typically waive a small group and really get to know them. You would know their tendencies. A lot of that came out of some of these mishaps, because you would be able to see it way further out, and you'd have to, you know, and you knew that in the fleet, but you wouldn't expect people to be so just all over the place as they are. And I mean, the first time you go out there and wave a VT, I'll tell you, man, like, I love those guys and girls, and I run into them now at the airlines, and it's awesome because they remember me and I remember them, and it's a blast. But, like, holy hell, some of them really wanted to die, like really, really tried to die. And, you know, you'll tell it from the perspective, because I'll still remember students, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that time he tried to put it in the old jet shop behind the ship. And they're like, really? I don't recall that. And I'm like, you don't recall the screaming wave offs? And they're like, no. I thought I did pretty good. And I'm like, well, yeah, after the pass where you literally tried to hit the propellers of the ship because you were so low, yeah, you bounced back really well. But, you know, it's the way our brain, you know, it's kind of like survival school, right? Like, you go through these things that are just so intense that, like, your brain forgets, you know. And it was some of the most rewarding, and I will say it's not even close to, it was the best job I did in the Navy when I was the wing LSO in Meridian. I love that job.
Well, like in that video, he's flying a T2. I didn't fly the T2, but straight wing, twin engine jet, but underpowered, just like the T-45 was underpowered. So as a training command LSO, I mean, was there, as far as your eyeball count, was there a big difference in waving an underpowered jet compared to
the biggest difference, like if you were to compare, say, a T-45 to a Hornet, is an underpowered Hornet, you would see it because it's a bigger aircraft, right? Okay. So you would see the angle of attack easier, whereas a T-45 is a lot smaller, so that moment arm is not as big. But you would listen a lot, and again, you could almost just feel it. Like, it's this weird feeling of just like, you watch so many of these passes, because again, you know, as much as you're training the pilots at the field, you're also getting training on watching all their passes too. So you're watching guys that come in and you're like, oh, he looks good. And then all of a sudden he lands there at the field and you're like, well, he should have touched down back there. Like,
right.
How did we get to here? You know what I mean? And so you're getting that, you know, of thousands, tens of thousands of passes if you do it long enough. And it's crazy because, again, and we were all there. It's just, you do stuff that you don't really think, and stuff that you would never do. And you had to know each student's personality. You know, I've told the story before where I yelled at the Marine, told him to pull his head out of his ass on the radio, and the skipper of the ship wanted me off the platform for it. Right. But that's what that Marine needed. And he came back and was top hook. So I take a little bit of credit for you. You have to know your people and what they're going to react to. Because if I say that to the wrong person, they're going to plant the plane. But
would you have given this? I mean, obviously, this unfortunate guy, he got slow. He pulled back on the stick as the deck was. Would you have given him an attitude call as well? I'm just curious.
No, because and here's the thing, and that's another thing that differs, right? that student's brain does not register what attitude means.
Yeah.
Like you did in a Hornet.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. So like you had to know that, like we would call it, sometimes you got to go Barney style and really break it down for them. And it's like, get the nose down, push the nose forward on the stick. In that case, I mean, that's obviously so egregious. Anything would have been something to save that poor guy's life. But unfortunately, it's just that's what you get. And the problem is, and this was the thing we had to be hard on, especially as the wing LSO, when you're out there in charge, the only person above me is Sinatra LSO. And luckily for the time I was there, he's also an airline pilot with us and a fantastic guy. And I love him to death. But I mean, you had to be on all the other LSOs because it's easy to get complacent out there. It's daytime in the VTs, right? It's calm winds or calm seas. It's like, it's your glory recovery in the fleet. It's like, well, the sea state's 2 foot and it's clear in a million. You're like, hell yeah, right?
Right.
So it's easy as a guy coming out of the fleet as an LSO to just look at that and be like, what could possibly go wrong? And then it's like, just, and you would see it in the LSOs coming out. Just the transition of it, right? They come out and they're just like I was. They're cocky. They're like, this is awesome. I know how to do this, man. I just did 3 combat tours fighting a war that I don't even know what we're doing, but it's awesome. I know how to land on a ship and wave people.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they see that first dude try to land that short, or God forbid, you see a hook slap or we never had a ramp strike, but I did see a hook slap on the platform that never saw a hook slap on the platform. The fleet saw about as close as you could get, but never saw it. But saw it in the VTs, and I'm telling you, it's like it'll get your attention fast. Like, and that's why you're out there. And I think that's why. I mean, if you think hard enough, you can remember your LSOs in the VTs. Maybe not by name, but you remember them. And that was the coolest part of that job, is just that transition. It's cool, man. I love it. I feel bad every time I watch it. That video tears me up because you can see that plane has got no chance way before they ever start really screaming at him, unfortunately. Like he's done. He should have just punched. That would have been, and that is something too. I mean, that was something we were taught where like, you may have to call it. And I called it on a guy going off the bow. I told him to eject and he didn't. Luckily the other 8 students in the pattern also didn't eject, because that's the other factor you have is somebody starts screaming eject on the radio.
Ooh,
all of a sudden canopies start going and you've got 8 new drones, orange and white, like dude. So but I mean this kid went off the bow and with the stick full aft stalled. I mean, right off the bow I looked over.
I remember you telling me that did the Cobra
forward. Oh, did the Cobra. I mean, dude, he'd give Tom Cruise a run for his money. Like it was. And he did that, and I was like, and we're screaming at him, and I mean, I won't say online how close the rat out showed him, but he almost won, but he flew away. And so it's a lot of it is luck, unfortunately, and I'm still here because of it. So, but it's a great job. I loved it. I'm so happy I got to do it, man. Like, so happy. It's probably some of the coolest teaching I've ever done in my career.
Well, cool, dude. Like I said, every time we have you on, I like to try to find something LSO specific, because I just flew the ball as best I could. But
which was
thanks.
not good.
No, it wasn't good at all. But Mover, do you have any reaction or comments, sir? Other than that's another reason not to fly on a boat.
You already answered all my questions.
See, there we go. All right. And that's all we have to say about that.
Okay. Thank you for your service. Thomas says everyone loves Wombat. $5 for fuzzy dice for the man van.
For the man van.
$5 for fuzzy dice for the RV, and thoughts and prayers for the man van.
Thoughts and prayers for the man van.
Garrett says, I went to USMC OCS with the son of the Marine pilot with 5,000 hours. The pilot's name is Brigadier General Doran.Got to meet him at a graduation. Welcome back.
Yeah.
That name sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
Renee sends us. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No, go ahead. There was a Duran that you and I both knew.
Yeah, not
too,
him,
but I don't
no.
Renee says, and this is part of her sticker with a cool puppy dog. Mover, please restate the name of the website for all things aviation with the military. Doug, what is this? What?
Dude, it's where you get all your file footage, right? What was
Oh, divots.
divots? Yeah,
Yeah, Defense Visual Information Distribution Service.
they got some really cool stuff on there, and it's all free.
Divots. I didn't know we were talking about that today. Thag says, as an LSO, do you still fly Wombat?
Oh yeah, all the time. We were the first ones out, so that was the best part too. Is as an LSO in the VTs, you would be the first division out to land on the ship. There'd be one LSO, poor guy from a squadron, that had to ride the ship out or fly a cod on, or I guess it was usually ride the ship out or helo on because somebody had to catch a cod, and then the LSOs, which typically I got to lead a 4-ship out as being the first ones. So that way nobody saw how bad my landing was because there was no unit of measure to go off of. So yeah, it was really cool to be able to do that. But you absolutely still fly. In the fleet you fly. I mean, there's a lot to be said that I remember early on in my fleet squadron when I asked what it took to be an LSO, they said, number one, don't suck behind the boat because you can't look at other people and critique them for their landings if they know you can't land yourself.
That's why I was never an LSO. I
wasn't going to say it. But
I didn't have the moves behind the
ship. So that was, I mean, no kidding. It was, yeah, you fly for sure. Did we all just
awkward silence? What was
no, I was like, did Mover freeze again?
I was just waiting for you the boat talk. I was just thinking I'm going to get a helicopter guy on here so we can talk about hovering.
We did last week, bro.
40 minutes. Yeah, but he was cool.
He was cool.
All right, let's talk about mental health. You want to do that?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Sure.
It depends. So it's so funny. I every now and then, I don't get them as much as I used to do, but every now and then I still get, questions on YouTube videos or comments from older videos about, I didn't have the vision to become a fighter pilot, or, something about how to become a military pilot. And understandably, people want yes or no. They want like bright line rules. Like one of the questions was, if I had a check ride failure, is it worse to have a check ride failure going to a board for a guard or reserve unit than if I didn't have a private pilot's license at all? And you see this a lot with people that have never flown or have never flown in the military, because our standard answer is almost always, it depends, especially in something like that. Like the answer to that, as I commented on the thing, I was like, well, it depends. Are you able to own up to that check ride failure and talk about what you learned from it? And did you go on and do great things, or did you let that destroy your life and you never recovered and, you don't have any confidence anymore, versus somebody who has no aviation experience and never experienced failure or success or anything like that? Well, yeah, I mean, the check ride failure is probably going to get it over the one that's got zero experience. But we say it depends a lot, and they say it's the standard weapons school answer, because in life, and I think that's where this ties into the mental health side of things, it's not always black and white. There's not always going to be the one answer every single time. No matter what you do, this is always how it's going to work out, because in life we have to be flexible. We have to maneuver in relation to the bandit. Am I going to turn left across his tail every time? Well, it depends. Yeah. What's the bandit doing? What kind of aircraft is it? What's my fuel state? Where's my wingman? Where's everything? So we take in all of this information, and then we decide, we enter that OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act. We get into that situation. And then from there, we could go off of what's known, our basic tactics, the fundamentals and stuff, because the fundamentals for the most part are always going to be the same. But we take that, we add our experience, we add our training, and then we make a decision. And sometimes that decision is going to be, go left. Sometimes it's going to be go right. But we can't always be rigid and go every single time, no matter what happens, I'm going to do this, because what happens when life surprises you? Because it will. It's not going to be the same. It's not always going to be that black and white answer. So people, I guess, new to military aviation in general, when they hear it depends, they're like, well, what does that mean? Well, it's something that you can apply to your own life because look, I don't know. I'm going to wait and assess based on the information I have at the time and then compare that to what I've experienced and what I know. And if you kind of approach life like that, you're not going to be in this, well, I always do it this way and it didn't work out. Now I don't know what to do. I don't know how to react to this. Just sit back, see what happens, take it one day at a time. And so that's my spiel on it depends. I will also say, what doesn't depend though is that if you are struggling with something, you're thinking about, making a permanent choice out of something that's temporary, go talk to somebody, go get help, talk to a friend, talk to a chaplain, talk to Military One Source, talk to a counselor, call 911 if you have to, but don't take that option away from, people because they are there to help you. And, we definitely want to see you succeed. Gonky.
Yeah, movie. I mean, he's a lot of good points. Things I'll add is if you are the type of person that has to have all the answers, you're going to live a life of a big ball of anxiety, right? Because you can't have all the answers. There's so many things that are out of your control. That's why, when Mover talks about maneuvering in relation to the bandit, well, you have to maneuver in relation to what's happening to you in life, and really, your response to that is going to determine, the quality of your life and the decisions you make. And there's in real estate, there's a term called analysis paralysis, and like when you're evaluating a deal or trying to make a decision, right, you're trying to play out like what could happen and like is the deal going to work, and like because we can't look into the future and see exactly what's going to happen. There's a lot of unknown, and a lot of people go down the rabbit hole so far they never make a decision. In my example, a real estate deal, but that is actually a decision, right, of not doing anything. So, you just have to accept the fact that, I mean, in my mind, that's one of the fun things about life. I don't want to know. I don't have all the answers. Sometimes, it kind of drives my wife nuts a little bit because like, we'll just go and she'll be like, well, what's your plan for this? I'm like, I don't know, figure it out when we get there. Right. And it makes life kind of fun. I'm not saying you should do that with everything, but life is not black and white. So I don't know. Wombat, what do you got, man?
This is a good one, and I don't know if you guys necessarily picked this specifically. I sat here and listened to what Mover said and then Gonky and thought to myself, should I be honest 100% with viewers on what's going on right now? And F it, might as well, right? So as most people know, I fly for the airlines. I also have, for most of my time at the airlines, been an instructor for the airlines. And as the two gentlemen sitting above me, one gentleman sitting next to me now, knows I've put a lot of time and energy into being an instructor because I love teaching. I love being a part of teaching. Teaching's been a part of my aviation career for the last 20 some odd years. So I worked very hard and sacrificed a lot of time to be that instructor for the airline because I found a lot of personal satisfaction with teaching other people, even at an airline level. Recently, 2 weeks ago, due to overstaffing in that position, my particular department had to make cuts. And while everybody out there told me that I was 100% safe because of my history working in the department, unfortunately, I got cut. Now, I'm still an airline pilot. I didn't lose my job, right? This is not as much as I'll joke that I got fired. I didn't. I still am gainfully employed, but I'm no longer an instructor. And like Mover and Gonky have said, I mean, you want to talk about a kick on how life changes. I mean, if you had asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have told you that until I turned 65, I'd probably be teaching at some point in the airline. Like that's what I've done. It's all of my energy. And so it came as a hard blow, and I had to take a real hard look at myself in a lot of aspects. I call it, the 4 F's of, my faith, my family, my fitness, my finances. That's kind of my pillars now. And there's other things out there, right? So if you had told me, hey man, what could you do if you couldn't teach at the airlines? It's 100%. It depends, because with the right mentality, it's a great job, and it's a job that I can thrive in. It's a job that I can focus on my family. It's a job that apparently I'm contemplating buying a van to go live down by the river. I mean, but there's a lot of things, the airline pilot life. Once you learn them, there's a lot of pros for flexibility in your schedule. And it's been a blessing, but I would have never done it on my own, would have never left on my own. So I'm really looking forward to it. But again, this is that flexibility. This is that there's no right answer, not knowing the outcome, right? Because I probably wouldn't, if I knew I was going to get cut 7 years ago and this is how it was going to end, I probably wouldn't have put the effort in that I did, right? I probably wouldn't have affected the people that I've affected, hopefully affected positively. And, I think that would have been a real slight on myself and on the people I work with. So you really do have to kind of look at things. There's no black and white. Everything changes, right? There's all the cliches and the sayings of, every good thing's got to end, and, all that. But you just got to enjoy it and go for it, whatever it is, in the moment. So back to how Mover started this, talking about the individual that wants to know, how they failed a check ride and how that's going to affect them on a board and stuff like that. I agree 100%. I'm not looking at the man or woman before they failed. I want to know what you're going to do after. And after you've been kicked in the teeth, and after you are on your back for the 100th time, now tell me. That's true character. Because I'll tell you what, if I was ever on a board or I was ever hiring, how you react in that point is going to determine whether I want you on my team or not. 100%. And that is, it's not easy. I'm living it real time now. Trust me. You two guys have seen it. The highs, the lows. I mean, Mover, you and I, which I appreciate the call, by the way, when I was going to see my dad, we talked for a long time in the car, and it hasn't been a super easy 2 weeks. Like, there's been every stage of it, but I know at the end of the day what matters to me, the 4 pillars that are important to me. And I also know that the true judgment of how I'm going to judge my character is based on what I do now. Right? So what does that mean? Well, I want to write book number 3. I want to work on another project. I want to do all this. I wanted to do all that stuff before, but I was willing to put the instructing ahead of that. Right? Because I was trying to do this traditional stabilized thing for my family that I thought was better. And it's funny, today we went and I got to coach a little bit at my boys' baseball game. And afterwards I made a joke to my wife. It was like, must have been tough for you to sit there with how hot I looked out there, as a coach. I get that. And she kind of smiled and she's like, well, kind of, because you're engaged more. You're not on the phone with work, taking a call about somebody that doesn't understand how to teach a module that you wrote, or worrying about the next big thing, right? Like I was definitely, my phone was, I don't even know if it was on me the whole game, and it was awesome. So, it's all of these things. We try to come up with a path. We try to come up with this best case scenario. And I mean, if there's anything, and there is a lot of extremely talented people on YouTube that you 100% should follow and should emulate. I'm not saying that I'm I'm one of them. But the one thing I will give you is I could show you what it's like to get kicked and to get knocked down and to keep going, you know. So that's the ultimate. It depends, right? I mean, what are you going to do when life doesn't go your way, right? Well, I mean, it really kind of depends. Are you going to realize that this is just a blip and it's really for a bigger reason, or are you going to let it completely crush you? Because if I was going to let things crush me, that would have happened a long, long time ago, as you two gentlemen know, because there was plenty of opportunities. So I think it's really important to just, you got to roll with the flow. I mean, don't make life hard on yourself. Don't do things, you know, the hard way just to show that you're tougher. Like, you know, use the people around you. But ultimately, like, life's going to change in an instant, and you got to be flexible and you got to be ready to adapt. And who are you going to be after if something doesn't go your way, to me is much more important than who you are when you get everything the way you want it to be.
Doug?
That's a hard act to follow. More so than usual. No, that's good news, man. I've been thinking about this in terms of being in leadership roles and making decisions. And I got cast into a leadership role when I was pretty young, and I thought that being a leader meant making decisions and, you know, telling people the answer and not being equivocal. And I made so many wrong calls when I should have just spent some time thinking it through and saying it depends, or I don't know the answer to that right now, or I'll get back to you, or, you know, tell me more before I make a decision. You guys really hit a lot of the nails on the head as usual with this one. You know, you don't know what you don't know until you get there. And if you go into it thinking, okay, well, I got this figured out, then, like you're just saying, Wombat, when the rug does get pulled out from under you, you're going to find out. And if you don't have it figured out, you're not going to be in good shape. Better to go in thinking I'm flexible.
Better figure it out real quick, because life ain't slowing down, man. That's for sure. So
make sure you follow the rules that Douglas Adams said. Make sure you demand rigidly defined areas of doubt and uncertainty, and then you'll be better off.
Is that Mike Tyson?
Oh, I was waiting for it.
Not this time.
I was waiting for it.
It's Mike Tyson. So
Everyone
anyway,
has a
so
plan to
hopefully
get
that doesn't
punched.
completely get me fired by talking about that. But if it does, maybe I'll have a van to live in. So we'll see. But
You're going to need a lot of the hopes and dreams and good vibes from Gonky.
Positive waves. Positive waves.
No,
for
yeah. Could have used
Sending
those 2 weeks ago,
positive
Gonky. Could have used those 2 weeks ago.
The golden retriever is very stingy with his vibes.
I don't. Okay. All right, whatever.
And in summary, I think something that that has gotten me through is I mean, it all the support of just the people who like what I do helps. But the one thing when it's really tough is remember my dad used to say, you know, any organization that want me to be a part of the organization, I probably don't want to be a part of. And there's been a couple moments during the last 2 weeks where I've lived on those words. So
Funny.
but you got to do what you got to do to get through it. Just roll with the punches, because they're going to keep coming. That's what makes it a great ride, right?
Yep.
Otherwise, it'd be boring.
Well, Wombat, I mean, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, man.
That's kind of
We'll see how that.
You'll be
tough one.
fine.
I'm sure. Yeah, we'll see what the backlash is on that.
all of your fans
tomorrow.
can look forward to flying with you possibly now.
Yeah, I'll be out there more.
Here,
Going to
look,
Boston
there
on
you go.
Wednesday.
Now
The only-
you're fine.
Then it's fine.
Good.
Totally fine.
What I'll say, Wombat, I told you this on the phone. You know, dude, I lived this right for 2 years. Oh, look, speaking of people that need to be here.
She felt bad for me.
Yeah, she's like, someone needs my assistance.
Yeah,
Uh,
I get that a lot.
dude, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We often think we have it mapped out. We think, you know, that it has to be a certain way. I mean, hell, I thought I was going to have a Finney flight at retirement. You know, I thought I'd be rolling into the sunset with, family, friends, and, 20 plus year career. And I'd be flying a fighter, Viper, or even Fat Amy for that matter. And I'd have that opportunity, and here we are. And, it took the better part of 2 years to sort it out and to figure out, kind of what life is going to look like. And one of the things I said, hate to quote myself, one of the things Mike Tyson said on a recent podcast, but I meant it. 15 years ago, you asked me, who am I? It's my job. I'm a fighter pilot. I am this. But the older I get and the more I experience kind of, the giveth and the taketh, I realize that that's not who you are. Your job in the training department's not who you are. You're a Wombat, dude. You're an upstanding, a high moral character, good friend, extremely competent pilot and funny dude. Like that's who you are. You're a family man. You are a friend. You are all these things that are so much bigger than your job. And when the job ends, something else will take its place, because that's who you are. That's what happens. You're never down, never out. So, it's your books. It's your, it gives you, what this did was just give you opportunity to expand your horizons. I mean, when I never thought I would be happy in a non-flying position, but I enjoy my job. I enjoy my non-flying military job now. I enjoy helping people. I never thought that I would be in a situation with a dog, if they say, well, you're canine. Well, look at that. Look at her. She's not catching anybody, but she's stealing hearts. She's catching people at their worst possible moment and making them feel better. I never thought that was possible. I never thought I would be in situations like that. I never thought I'd be flying, helicopters. And so, I mean, yes, it may not be what you wanted, but dude, there's bigger things for you. And I think that that's important for all of us to remember, is that no matter what happens, you've got your friends, you've got your family, and, you can get through just about anything.
If anybody makes fun of my landings when they see me flying the airplane, though, that's going to hurt.
Isn't it an Airbus, though? I mean, it just makes a bad pilot good and a good pilot okay.
That's what they say, and I'm still waiting for it to make me good. And it hasn't yet. So,
I mean, just flare when it calls you a retard.
It's the ultimate common plane. We're all the same here.
I think it'll be good, and I appreciate the kind words, Mover. I really do. It's there's been a lot of soul searching. I don't blame the people that had to make this decision. It's tough decisions to make, and I don't have any ill will at all. They're in tough decisions, and when Manning is Manning, I mean, that's tough. Greater instructors than me also got cut. I'm nobody in that world. So, but I am looking forward to flying. I am looking forward to getting out there, hopefully seeing some people. That's always fun on the line. And you're right. And helping people too, because you can do that a lot, and I did not have an appreciation for that as much, but I learned when I upgraded to captain, you get a lot of nervous flyers. You get a lot of people that have never done it before, or things, they're not as comfortable in the airplane as we are. And I have found that my sense of humor usually helps a little bit with that, to kind of put people at ease. And then, of course, if it's really bad, I just blame it on the first officer, because it's clearly their fault. I mean, I can't make those rules up, but, so it is, it's going to be good. And I agree with you. There are some things, I'm actually kind of proud of myself in a way on how I bounce back. So it's going to be a good thing. I'm just excited. I want to know what the good thing is, because you're right. Everything, when I look back over the past 22 years, it's everything now looking back. I'm like, yep, that led to this, or yep, that led to this. And I'm like, man, what's going to come out of this one? Cause it's gotta be pretty freaking phenomenal. And I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see.
Awesome. Let's clean up the chat here, and we'll call it a day. Chili says, vibes are a good thing. Have some more. Thank you, Gonky. Crazy Pete says, maintain a rigid state of flexibility. Davey says, just wanted to let y'all know I'm back met up after 9 months for Navy primary flight training. Thanks for
Oh,
keeping me
nice.
motivated every week.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Nice.
What in Tarnation says, my favorite thing about the mental health minute is how sometimes it makes you feel called out, but that feeling also makes me address it consciously, which helps me progress. I love the mental health minute.
Thanks.
Irene says, I lost my 30-year job as an EMT due to injury. I never thought of anything else. I now work as an EMT. The thing crashed. I can't read it now. Oh, here it is. Non-traditional plasma center. And now I can't get it off the screen, Doug. You're going to have to help me with that one.
That's
I'll take
hilarious.
care of it.
It's,
Can you read it? You want me to read it?
I don't know, dude.
Go ahead and read it when you're finished. I'll hide it.
I need mental health. Thankful it happened. Here we go. We're back. Oh, now I'm echoing. Perfect. We're just having a day. We're just having all kinds of day.
Life's not black and white here, Mover. You gotta BFM what's in front of you, bro. That's what
Finish strong. Finish strong, Mover. We can finish strong.
That's right.
Lexi says Wombat's a spicy mustard on the mover and Gonky sandwich. Ugh.
Love it.
Airbus is an air van.
Yep.
And Tom says Wombat Tomcats. Womcats.
Wombcats.
And that's it. That's the whole show. We're on the goodbye portion. I got to get this fixed, dude. I don't why would
What is
Chrome be
going
doing
on?
this? It keeps giving me like this status access violation, and then it'll crash because I got two screens, right? It'll crash it, or it'll just close. It'll just like, oh, you're back to the desktop. Hello. You know, there's
It's crazy. Simplify your life.
Just-
I only have one screen, and Chrome's worked great this whole time.
Me too.
Just saying.
That's all right, Mover. We'll get through this, man.
We'll
It's
get
just-
through it.
It's just a
Never
speed
down,
bump.
never out, Mover.
It's a speed bump on the way to greatness, my friend.
oh, it used to be Gonky. What happened?
The
The mighty
Which
have
is
fallen.
Which is fast.
Wait, he said that, but I tried it Edge. Edge does the exact same thing, and Firefox is not
Come on,
compatible
bro.
with this thing.
Right? Am I? think I
I'm using
yeah.
Chrome. Yeah.
I had to check.
You know what? Yeah. I won't say I don't know anything about technology.
No,
I'm not
no,
asking you, Donkey.
It just works. I just turn it on, it works. I don't know.
I'm
Just
not
works.
asking.
Plug it in, works perfectly.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
I'll ask Doug. Maybe Wombat. Probably
Oh,
not,
dude,
though.
I am.
Probably
You
not.
heard my questions when you told me the webcam. I was like, "Is it plug and play?" I mean, like literally.
Yeah.
But-
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Brave browser, probably not. I think there's only a couple things StreamYard is compatible with. Anyway, thank you for watching, listening.
Yeah. Thanks,
See
Wombat,
ya.
for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
See you
Glad I
next
made it
week.
before the
See you
start.
guys.
Oh, hey, you know what? In a week we have a special guest. Bruce Webb
Oh, yeah.
will be on. He is with Airbus Helicopters.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be able to talk about the flippy switch,
Sweet.
On.
how to turn it on. And then in November we've got a really special guest, but I'm not going to ruin it yet.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
We got to
awesome.
get a lot better between now and then. But yeah.
I got to fix this by then. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. So,
All right. Good night, everybody.
good night, everybody. Thank you.
Hey guys.
Night, folks.